we will start making an outline of where I want the first wall to be. So this whole netherrack thing is going to be like a wall with a gate, and in order to build that wall, we are going to need a lot of cobblestone. This is a massive vein of diamonds. 34 from that vein. What? And that is pretty much a full inventory of stone. I decided to make the wall out of these sideways stair things to save cobble, and I started off by building a little gate entrance with these rounded blocks like this. After that, I was placing these wood sections every few blocks, and I wanted to keep building throughout the night, but that doesn't seem to be possible. So I continued on day 48 with these iron gate things. I think they're a nice addition to the entrance, and I pretty much spent the whole day building walls out of these cobblestone things. This is what the wall looked like at the end of the day. And this is what the wall looked like by day 50. As you can see, I added a few things. Day 49 will be missed. On this day, I started making the wall look a little less blocky, because this is Minecraft. Why would I want anything to look like blocks? And after another day of doing this on day 51, the wall now looked a little bit smoother. So the next step was adding some windows like this, and I put some of these blocks underneath them on day 52, and added some block variation to the wall as well. Placed some of these blocks on the bottom, added some trapdoors, window shutters, this barbed wire thing on the top, and by day 54, the wall was complete. It may not have looked like it, but building this literally took me 7 days, and that is only like 5% of the finished castle. After taking this long on a single part of this build, I really was kinda concerned that I wouldn't be able to finish it before day 100. On day 55, I made a small pathway out of gravel, and then I began clearing all this random stuff out at the top of the mountain. Of course, to build this castle, I am using a reference. This castle right here is kinda what we're going for, so we are going to have to build another even bigger wall above the current wall before we even start the building. And this time I'm using full cobblestone blocks because placing those stair things took forever. On day 57, I realized that this does not look right. The wall needs to be extended way further to the right. And at the end of the day, I found some pillagers. There shouldn't be any pillagers. On day 58, I started replacing some of the full blocks with the quarter blocks like I said I wasn't going to do. Since I'm basically rebuilding the wall, this is going to take a few more days. Day 59, my lifetime supply of cobblestone finally ran out, so I had to put in another 12-hour shift at the cobble mines. And on day 61, I was getting jump scared by creepers. It's obviously not finished yet, but now you can clearly see there is a wall. Next up, I'm going to continue the line I put here all around the top of the wall. After that, I'm going to run out of cobblestone again. Okay, so it is now day 63, but now we can put some lanterns up here and start working on a layer of stairs in the middle, which will also get some lanterns underneath. And now on day 64, a layer of stairs goes on the bottom, and I didn't even show it here, but the wall part of the wall was finally finished. But what do I mean the wall part? If you look at the picture of this castle here, you can see there's buildings on top of the wall, so I'm going to have to fill in this entire area with these slabs as well. As you can see, this is taking forever and it's kinda hard to place them accurately, so instead of continuing to do this, I decided that placing full blocks underneath them and then placing them would be a lot better. So it's netherrack time. I'm surprised my pickaxe still has this much durability. On day 65, I kinda got a clear view of my finished wall. I wasn't really stopping to look at things because I needed to finish this before day 100. And I still hadn't started the actual building, after 20 days. So I spent this day just placing down netherrack, and then I ran out of netherrack. And after that, I accidentally crafted 3 stacks of the wrong floor. The next 2 days is just me filling in this floor with netherrack, and then filling in the top part with this stone block. But on day 68, I ran out of stone. But I was so close. I don't know why I got 2 stacks of slabs to fill in this small area. Okay, now the floor is done. Just have to clear out all the mobs from down here. I ended the day off with a full no salmonella streak, and on day 69, I wanted to go get some oak wood for the castle floors and also to add to the second wall if I have time. Just walking through this terrain, I forgot how incredible it looks. This castle has me forgetting what I'm playing. I will say that with how good the terrain looks, the building experience has not been the most fun for me. I feel a lot of pressure to make sure that my castle looks good enough to live up to the standards set by this terrain. And right now, I don't think we're there yet. I spent the rest of the day fighting a war just so that I could get some oak wood, and on day 70, I returned back to the base. At the beginning of the day, I tried to get a looting sword but failed again, because for the third time, I was trying to get leather. 2 leather. We need 11 more. Hopefully it doesn't take us the whole day. There had to be a cow there, right? Okay, I'm hallucinating cows. At this point, you might have been like, you should have just traded with leather for piglins. But does trading with piglins come with a view like this? Anyways, I didn't get any more leather today. And on day 71, I took a new approach for finding cows today. I went from the top down and it was kind of working. That's 7 leather already. Look at this dumb cow walking towards me while I'm holding leather. I don't think cows even know they are leather. Like, they don't see this and know that's them. Believe it or not, I still don't have 13 leather, but hopefully this will be enough to get a Silk Touch pickaxe. The main block I'm going to use for the castle needs to be made with stone instead of cobblestone, and I'm not just gonna sit here and smelt 30 stacks of cobblestone. No, actually I am. For some reason I tried smelting the stone before getting the Silk Touch pickaxe. On day 72, I started digging an outline for the castle, and then I started filling in the bottom layer with stone bricks. But remember, I'm smelting them, so this is how many bricks I had so far. I had to dig a bit of terrain out to fit the build, and on day 73, I finally grew a brain and went to the nether to get levels for the Silk Touch pickaxe. Okay, now I can get stone a lot faster than by furnaces. Day 75, I finished the second layer of stone bricks, and moved on to white limestone bricks, which will be the main block for this build. Of course I had this much finished, and then decided I should use vertical slabs instead, so I had to erase all of today's progress and start again with new blocks. This is the problem with building for the first time in this mod. I can't get anything right on the first try, but I think it looked much better on day 76. So I kinda started experimenting. Again, this row was another experiment, but I thought it actually looked decent, so I kept it. Unfortunately, I was out of stone the next day, so I spent the whole day in the mines. Day 79, I began placing the roof. Even though this block is supposed to be a type of stone, for some reason it sounds like wood when it's placed. Look at that zombie thinking he can kill me. Now that I was working on the roof, I felt a lot more confident in finishing the build before day 100. On day 81, I broke these lines that I was placing before and replaced them with quartz ones instead. And this is what the build was looking like so far. This is definitely the most detailed thing I've ever built, and we are still not even close to being finished. Anyways, I added another layer of quartz in the middle. I think it looks better, and for the rest of the night, I was building the roof. And on day 82, this is what it looked like. Remember that lifetime supply of cobble on like day 45? It was definitely not a lifetime supply. On day 83, the roof was finally getting close to completion. I added these cobblestone pillars on the sides and in the middle, and I continued filling in the roof until it was done. Well, it's missing one block, but we just have to craft it with the stone cutter. It was done. So now every part of the building is done, except the windows and the tower on the right. First off, I wanted to add the windows, but there is a little bit of a problem. Instead of using these prison bars like on the first wall I built, I want to make the windows out of glass. But there is not actually any sand in this world. There is a solution to this, but before I did that, I finished a couple of small parts of the build. I changed the bottom part to stairs instead of full blocks, started adding a little bit of an overhang to the doorway of the building, and filled in the entire floor with oak slabs. Which took until near the end of day 85 to complete. But now I can finally add the windows. How did I even get the glass? I actually placed a few blocks of sand underneath the sugarcane I placed on this map because I couldn't find dirt in the creative menu. The dirt is called loamy dirt or something in this mod. I'm not stupid. So that's how I got sand. But I had to add a sand dupe in order to make enough glass to fill in all the windows. Anyways, the windows are done. On day 86, I was trying to see my castle from my old home. I can't find it. Today I harvested a bunch of these leaf blocks so I can use them to make shrubs in front of the castle. And I finally got a looting sword after 87 days. So those last 2 bookshelves better watch out. I started breaking some blocks for where I want the shrubs to be placed, and I wanted to place these shrubs on some grass, so I made grass slabs to maximize the grass blocks. But I did not know that you can't place grass slabs on the top of the block. So I ran out of grass pretty quickly, so I placed what I could so far, and then I started adding some light posts around the sides. On day 88, I had to go get some grass, but I couldn't even remember how I got grass in the first place, so I just settled with dirt. Also, before you think silk touch, you don't have to silk touch grass in this mod to get it. I just couldn't find any full grass blocks that weren't slabs. Along with the shrubs, I wanted to add my own custom trees. You can probably guess how that went. It went pretty good actually, because I just tried to copy the ones from the actual map. Finally on day 90, I got to work on the unfinished tower on the side of the castle, and there it is. Let's add some stairs, a door, a floor, ladder, lantern, another floor, windows, these things on the side, and now you could say that this is finished. It's not finished, but you could say it. Anyways, for these next 10 days, I was able to at least slow down the building because I was pretty close to being done. I was just adding some extra details to the build now, like this cobblestone outline, and a pathway, and a door at the front. I also was going to need a little bit of birch wood to make into white shutters for the windows, but getting wood here is really annoying. I mean, look at this. While getting wood, I did manage to solve the cow problem though. Hello, level 30 enchant table that I'm not going to use once. With all the wood I collected, I wasn't able to make that many shutters. So it's time to go industrial on the birchwood collection on day 93. There's a ton of big birch trees in this swamp. We just gotta find the birch forest. I still can't believe how insane this map looks. I remember one of my first videos to get 1 million views was a realistic video, and that just looked awful compared to this map. Again, shout out to Red Ranger. Somehow a map not even made for survival managed to be such a great experience. I'm going to miss ultra realistic Minecraft. I won't miss the thirst bar though. I love how the LODs make it look like there's snow on the roof. It looks so stupid and it's not what I wanted. On day 95, I finished adding shutters to the house, and I added a few more details to the tower. How the hell is there snow in here? I was pretty happy with how the tower ended up looking, so on day 97, I added more windows to the tower underneath, and now you really can't see how it looks. Because of the snow. That's how it looks. I made a pathway out of gravel leading to the castle, and put some slabs on the outside of it for some extra detail. And on day 98, the castle was finally finished. So it's time for a house tour. It starts over here with the camp. Make sure to fill up your water bottles at the fountain. We have the LOD version of the castle. Looks great as you can see. Now we gotta run all the way over here. We have this terrain I created trying to merge the 2 maps, blocking our view. Then we have this really nice fog that stops you from seeing anything. This is the wall, the first part of the castle. Now let's go through the door that definitely should make that sound. I can't do this with the fog, we're waiting. Okay, we just gotta go, it's not going away. Then we got our castle. Okay, this looks like shit. The sun is in the walls. Okay, it's finally gone, let's start again. I give up. It's fine, because there's really nothing left to see, as there's nothing in the castle. I don't know what that is. I spent the rest of the night adding this oak wood to the walls, because I said I would do it like 30 days ago and forgot, and on day 99, I finished that. On this day, I really didn't have anything left to do, so I figured I would go back to my old house and try to crash my PC. I wanted to load in the whole mountain to see what it looks like without distant horizons. If anyone was wondering, this is what it looks like. Don't move your mouse though. It's a little laggy. Anyways, I spent the rest of the day just getting a good view of the sunset, and before I knew it,
what would you
it was
do?
day 100.
If you answered load up Minecraft and play some old mods, what are you doing? You can do that right now. For the next 100 days, I'm playing Minecraft's oldest mods, some of the most recognizable mods in Minecraft history, and some of the most forgotten ones. And it all begins on beta 1.7.3. The mods I'm playing are from a mod pack called Mango Pack, and I'm gonna be introducing a new mod every 5 days, starting with the Aether. This is not the Aether, I know, but we have to go here first. The Aether. That only took a whole day. Now the Aether's a pretty big mod, but I have a plan to finish this thing in 5 days. We got a lot of other mods to play, and I can't be wasting time, so it's time for the plan. We're gonna need to dismantle our portal, you'll see why. 9 of this purple stuff, golden slime, and a bunny? We don't need those things. What we do need is to find the Cube Man, aka Barrett Tacken the Slider. He's honestly the worst boss out of the 3. The only requirement to beating this boss is having thumbs and having 3 Zanite pickaxes, because you can only hit him with a pickaxe and you go through 2 of them before you kill him. That is the first boss of the Aether complete. Honestly, if you've ever died to this cube, you gotta go out to Best Buy and buy a monitor. Every boss you kill in the Aether gives you a key. This is the bronze key. It opens a bronze chest, Phoenix bow, the hammer of Notch, and an agility cape. Looks like we got some new drip. The agility cape makes you walk up blocks like this, and the other stuff I got, I have no idea what it does, and I don't give a all I care about is finding the next boss. I keep telling people to subscribe to the channel. They be like, I'ma do it when pigs fly. So as I said, the Aether has 3 bosses. Next we are fighting the Valkyrie boss. And this is where breaking the portal comes into play. In the overworld, I can use a bed to go to sleep, and now it's day 3. But since you can't sleep in the Aether, what I've done is technically set my spawn point in the Aether. So now it doesn't matter if I die in this fight. In order to challenge the Valkyrie boss, you need to kill 10 of these Valkyries. For these I just boxed up and edited some windows to kill them. But you can't cheese the Valkyrie boss like this, so I had no choice but to actually fight her. This boss is only hard because it randomly teleports on you. That's how I died while fighting it. But the portal strat goes crazy because I can just start the fight again and she's on the same health. Like, the bosses just stay the same health even if you die. That's a super deserved boss win right there. This is the loot I got from the chest, nothing too cool, but when I went back to the front of the dungeon, the chest that I put most of my stuff in just vanished. So on day 4, I went through a little bit of a reset, but that was fine because I'm still only on day 4. The final Aether boss is the Lava Iron Golem, aka one of the words from that Roblox spelling game. This is considered the hardest boss in the Aether according to the dungeon ratings. The Cube was the bronze boss, the Valkyrie was the silver boss, and this is the gold boss. You have to go through this cutscene every time you fight him, and this boss moves around the room shooting fireballs that bounce off the walls, and every 4th or 5th one, depending on the stage of the fight, is a blue ball. Your job is to throw the blue balls at him. If you hit him with the blue ball, he takes damage and sends a minion on you, so it's kinda like the Ender Dragon, but like if it was not the same, like in any way. You're supposed to go into this fight with a water bucket, which is why I forgot to get one, but it doesn't really matter because all the difficulty of this fight is eliminated by the fact that he keeps his health whenever you respawn. This is the most annoying boss fight of all time though, so I don't feel bad cheating this one at all. From the chest I got 2 vampire blades and a phoenix helmet. After beating this boss on day 5, it is possible that I hold the world record for Minecraft Beta Aether. But to make my 10-year-old self proud, I want to become a master of all these mods. And I'm still not a master of the Aether, because in order to achieve mastery in the Aether mod, there's 4 armor sets I need to collect. But that's for later. Because as I said, every 5 days we get a new mod, and it's day 5. And this time we are getting a 2-for-1 special, Paxels. If you don't know what that is, it's pretty much a tool that mines everything made with an axe, a pickaxe, and a shovel. The goal right now is to get a diamond Paxel. We also need a diamond for the other mod, which I'll show you when we get it. But first, on day 6, we have to walk to a place that's going to be our base. I found out that the vampire sword I have heals you whenever you hit something, and my phoenix helmet turned into an obsidian helmet because I went into water. It's fine though, because we also need to collect full obsidian armor. On my walk, I saw some of the old cows, and this walk took so long that it started to turn nighttime. I have to inform you that I'm cheating and using a mod to turn up my brightness. It's for the video, because this is what it looks like without it. But seriously, I don't think you understand what I had to go through to find a mod that actually works for this. Some of these people are insane. Alright, we made it. This is where we're going to build our base. I don't know if you recognize it. Maybe you recognize it now? Okay, let me just show you. It's this. It's the mountain from the texture pack thing. On day 7, I started cracking open a mine underneath the base. This is true old Minecraft tradition. You got a staircase under the base. I found iron, made an iron Paxel. Going up the staircase is so nice with this cape. Then I just accidentally uncovered some diamonds while starting to strip mine. I promise I didn't x-ray. This video's not that OG. Anyways, 7 is the perfect amount for the diamond paxel, so goal 1 is complete. And I also missed a diamond, so we can get the other mod item if we get some redstone. Forgot this takes forever to mine. Extra iron, x-ray to some more diamonds, and we finally just need to get some lapis. But lapis is the real diamonds when you're 10 years old and don't know what lapis is. I definitely didn't used to think lapis was diamonds. I ended up finding a spawner before I found lapis, but on day 8, I finally found the dark blue diamonds. After this, I must have been feeling like Superman making this play. I thought I was invincible or something. I also almost got caught lacking by a creeper, but luckily the Unk instincts kicked in. The creeper is swimming over to me. Is this some kind of revenge? Day 9, I finally get to show you the second mod. It's a portal gun. If you don't know what a portal gun is, I think it's a little bit faster than walking everywhere. On this day, I traveled back out to where my Aether portal was, took the whole thing apart so I can move it later, and I made an Aether paxel because I'm able to do that. The one thing I didn't tell you about this video yet is that I'm doing the whole 100 days in one sitting. I am currently 2.5 hours in, on day 9. So this is, yeah.
Wake your ass up because it's time to go beast mode.
Day 10 is new mod day, but it's not really. What? Let me explain it to you. This mod pack actually brings some features from even older versions to beta 1.7.3. Example, climbing gapped ladders. Example 2, triple chest. I don't know how to do this. Okay, it turns out it's a generation thing. Never mind. Example 3, punch a TNT. It's pretty self-explanatory. Example 4, milking a squid. Yo, give me your milk, buddy. It doesn't work. Example 5, fisting a sheep for wool. Example 6, boat elevator. Example 7 is a minecart booster. I don't know what that is, so I'm saving it for never. Example 8, photo mode showcase. This is photo mode. It's an actual old feature, I'm 99% sure. Don't know if it was actually called photo mode. Anyways, this brings us to the goal for the next 5 days. Make a house and take a picture of it in photo mode. For our house, we're gonna need a couple of ingredients. The first ingredient for the house is sand. Everyone knows why you need sand to make a house. It's to build the walls. Next up on the list is birch wood. Obviously, birch is just the best wood to build with. And last but not least, we need pumpkins, necessary for every house. I'm also grabbing wool on day 11 because I might need to substitute some pumpkins for it. You guys remember Seuss shaders? Oh yeah, this is going off. The S in Seuss stands for seizure. Anyways, good news is we got our last ingredient for the crib, and now on day 12 we can begin construction. I'm going to lie to you, like yeah, I was using pumpkins and stuff, but this house really wasn't bad. As you can see, I had to start substituting for wool, but this progress on day 12 was kinda tough. Back to material grinding on day 13 though. I mainly need more clay and some sandstone. I'm gonna need it to finish the second layer. I spent the rest of the night building. The grind continued at the crack of dawn. Had to add a little dock connecting to the water. And this is what 1 hour of manual labor in the hot sun can get you. Ignore that the door is missing. I'm waiting for a door giveaway. I know you thought it was gonna be ass. 10-year-old me would be impressed with this, I can't lie. On day 15, I began the day with a Pokemon pack opening. This is what I got. Anyways, day 15, it's out with the in, old with the new. Better than wolves mod. The only thing I know about it is that it's better than wolves. Why wolves? We have 7 objectives to complete in this mod, and for the first one, we need to hoe dirt, because hoeing dirt in beta gives you seeds, and in Better Than Wolves, you can get hemp seeds. After that, we can make a Better Than farm for hemp in front of the house. The fences stop you from trampling the crops, somehow. If you want to bone meal hemp, that's banned, but it doesn't matter right now. We just need wheat. And then we can start our first Better Than objective, cooking. This is a millstone, and I have to use a hand crank to turn wheat into flour with it. After that, we can put flour into a cauldron, but a cauldron needs fire to cook, not a hand crank. Obviously. Who would think that? Everyone knows I'm the dumbass who thought that. It's right there on the screen, 4K. I spent the rest of the day digging an area to put the cauldron, and on day 16, somehow it turned into this big hole. Okay, I had to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I need netherrack to keep the fire under the cauldron going, so I might as well build a portal room while we're at it. The extra nether portal is, for something. You'll see. I got netherrack while being shot at by the entire US military, but then when I went back through the portal, it took me somewhere offshore. I don't know where this is, but I broke the portal to make sure it never happens again. I had to Uber back to the crib, but we got our cauldron area set up. Now I cook some flour, and boom! I'll give you 5 big justices. We're sorry about your brother that passed away. Nah, but seriously, it just took me 2 days to make donuts. Also, remember I started growing hemp on day 15? Turns out I didn't. And if you're wondering why the hemp even matters, it's the main thing I need for like everything else in this mod. Like rope down thingy, which is our next objective, it requires hemp, and lots of it. So here I am breaking soul sand, because I guess I need that for something. Anyways, the nether portal did the thing again, so that's broken for the rest of the video. I made a cement bucket. It's super useful as we will not be using it. I also made a block dispenser, which doesn't actually do anything. And then I actually found the secret to growing hemp. You need to put it underneath these light blocks to grow it. So on day 18, I grabbed a bunch of redstone, some glowstone, and more hemp seeds, because it's time to actually go beast mode and start our hemp empire. Never mind, hemp's gonna take 30 business days to grow. So on day 19, while we await hemp, it's a good thing to note that I am almost 5 hours into recording, which is proof that I'm going to be awake forever. I found a wolf that was going tweak mode on this day, so I gave him some bones. We need the dog to poop for some features and better than wolves. Like, I'm not even joking. I couldn't make that up if I wanted to. Anyways, I don't remember when we got this door with an obsidian pressure plate, but getting the dogs in here was really simple and really easy. A couple minutes later, we had dog poop. Combine dog poop with food, you get poopy food. Combine dog poop with leather, and you get nothing. That's because we need to hand crank the leather into light leather. I don't know what it's actually called. Then you combine it with poo to make tanned leather. Evolution. Anyways, that's 5 days of trying to explain better than wolves, and we haven't even started objective 2. Little did I know you need to have a degree in this mod to play it. Day 20, it's time for a food break. Since we're doing a little Minecraft sleepover here, I got a pizza because that's like tier 1 sleepover food. Also, I think the guy that I installed a secret camera on his PC knows I'm watching him. Everyone knows day 20 is a new mod day, and this day is another 2-for-1 special. First off, we got the Clay Soldiers mod. Now, I'm not gonna play with the Clay Soldiers like I'm a 5-year-old. I'm gonna play with it like I'm a father of 4 blue-collar worker. I got money on blue. Come on, blue. God damn it, bro. Looks like I gotta sell the kids. On day 20, I made the decision to expand the hemp farm even more, but I needed more seeds and my hoe was gonna break. Now we got hoes. You're probably wondering what the other mod is. It's more creeps and weirdos. It adds mobs like this to the game. Yeah, you gotta go, bro. What the Anyways, I spent the rest of the day on the seeds, made a draft, then I prepared the furnaces for making 40 light blocks. I got my first 3 pieces of hemp on day 21. For my next objective, I need 6 rope, and I thought this was rope, but no, it's actually hemp fibers, and to make 1 rope, you need 6 of them. At this point, I was about to try to DoorDash some hemp. That's why we're going big on the hemp farm today. Look, I installed the entire zoo.
What is this thing, bro?
Oh, it's gone. That's the whole hemp farm complete. It's an endgame hemp farm, as it should get us all the hemp we need for better than wolves. So on day 22, I used the extra hemp we have to make our first 2 pieces of rope. And today was just kind of a random day. All I can do is wait for the hemp to grow, so I hit the mines looking for diamonds. And on day 23, I left the casino empty-handed. But our first hemp in the new farm had fully grown. Apparently hemp grows faster underground. That would have been good to know before. Anyways, now we have 5 ropes, so only 1 more to go. I did some chest org for the rest of the day, and that's literally all I did. But day 24 is the most eventful day ever, because I crafted an axle. And I didn't realize it, but the axle has nothing to do with this objective. All we needed was this thing, and we can put rope on it. So we never actually needed 6 rope. The rope also doesn't work to go down to the portal area, so I just had to put it on the back of the house instead. Wow, what a great objective. Anyways, objective 3 requires me to cut wood with a cutter. But unfortunately, the cutter doesn't work unless you have a windmill. Getting a windmill is also one of the objectives, but it's going to take all 40 of the hemp we have growing to make it. So pretty much we're progression locked until we get a windmill. But who cares, cause day 25 is new mod day. Day 25 was also started with a Pokemon pack, but I forgot to record it, and I got one of these zero sugar crush drinks, cause we're on the sleepover topic, and everyone remembers this legendary pack from sleepovers. Anyways, no one cares about me. You care about the Twilight Forest. That's the new mod on day 25. Now, I don't know much about the Twilight Forest mod. The only thing I know is that the old version has like 1% of the features that this mod actually has. There's these ore caves with chests and spawners, so I decided to make my goal to try and find a diamond cave for this mod. Now I had no idea if it was even possible, but there is just super OP caves in the Twilight Forest that make mining completely useless. So I got like 2.5 stacks of diamonds, a bunch of golden apples, which by the way, if you didn't know, you can't craft golden apples in this version, so please stop commenting that on my other video. This whole day itself would have been like the coolest thing ever to 10-year-old me. I definitely would have died to the skeletons though. Anyways, that's the end of the Twilight Forest for now. It's time to hit the oil rig. No days off on Better Than Wolves. Never mind. Actually, we're waiting for Hemp to get a windmill, so we can't do anything. But we are gonna need like a place to put the windmill, so I nominated myself to help collect resources for this expansion. The Orange House DLC will contain birch logs, army troops defending the shores, more birch wood. That's all I got so far. On day 27, I put the birchwood to use. This is the outline for the windmill building. I now had to collect materials to actually build it. There's no shortage of creeps and weirdos. Yo! Speaking of creeps and weirdos, I got into a weird side quest here. I was supposed to take this kid to the Lollipop Man, but he just evaporated when I used the portal gun. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I started a little bit of building, but then I found the kid again. So I started taking him to the Lollipop Man. I got robbed, and then I safely brought him to the Lollipop Man. Most normal day in old Minecraft mods. This is also the most unnecessary sound effect. I got my Paxel back from the robber, then I spent the rest of the day gathering materials, cause I guess I didn't do that earlier. And on day 28, construction begins. This isn't a government construction project, so I actually had to get it done quickly, but I really don't know how I thought a whole windmill was going to fit in this tiny area. This is reinforced by the fact that on day 29, I could not fit the windmill in the spot. Keep in mind they are friggin' huge. So huge that I had to ruin the entire build to fit the windmill. But we're locked in crazy, cause that is 3 out of 7 Better Than Wolves objectives complete. Only took 14 days. We get a new mod every 5 days. Today we got the Mo Creatures mod. It adds Mo Creatures to the game. It's basically gonna blend in with more creeps, so I don't even know how to show it. Next up in Better Than Wolves is getting Hellfire. If you don't know what Hellfire is, don't worry. I don't know what it is either. All I know is we need a hopper right now, and we need to cut some wood to craft one. Only problem is, I don't know how to power the cutter. What? The solution to this is to create a power line using axles, which is the thing I accidentally made way earlier. I got wood to make them, and here's my amazing cutter setup. All this was done to get these panels to create an old school hopper. The difference between this hopper and modern Minecraft is like literally everything. They are completely different. Like for example, it spawns a ghast when you make too much hellfire dust from it. The ghast is like invincible too. The fireballs don't kill it. But now we have Hellfire Dust, which is almost a Hellfire Ingot. So on day 31, we take this to the cauldron, and 8 Hellfire Dust equals a Hellfire Ingot. Now this Hellfire Ingot can be used to make steel, which is objective number 5. To get this, we need a lot of crazy stuff, starting with a turntable. This turntable turns clay into a pot. The pot is then supposed to turn into a crucible, but to get a crucible, I need something called stoked fire. I don't know what that means. It involves something called a hibachi that takes more hellfire to make, and if you feel like I just introduced way too many things at the same time, that's exactly how I felt playing. I don't know if I ever showed this, but you have to grind up netherrack first before you can make hellfire dust. It takes forever and sounds awful. We also got sharks now. The rest of the day is legitimately just this. And on day 33, I went to the nether to start grinding hellfire dust. I did this in case a ghast spawned. Anyways, after all that, we got 3 hellfire ingots. And so we can craft a hibachi, but this is where Better Than Wolves turns worse than wolves, I'm not gonna lie. Cause to make a crucible, I needed a thing called a kiln. Now first off, I didn't even know how to light the hibachi. I needed to make this thing called a bellow for some reason. This is the only good part of the day. I found a duck. Now that we have the bellow, it kind of like doesn't do anything. And there was an easy solution for all of this, but I was just misunderstanding it. I was low-key kind of done with Better Than Wolves though. I thought I needed power from the windmill in order to light this. So on day 34, I wrote, I give up, bro. It's gonna burn the whole house down if I put it on the top. And instead, I took a Minecraft beach day. Honestly, I get nightmares from Better Than Wolves. I have PTSD from this mod. So for the next few days, I was happy to say we are taking a break from Better Than Wolves. Instead, I decided to chill on the beach. This is max level unemployment. Guess what though? We got Pokemon packs. I gotta just retire from trying to do this. I am so shit at showing the packs. No pulls anyways. And now we spend the rest of the day watching the random animals in the water. Shout out Mo Creatures. Also saw the Rizzler at the end of the day, so that was cool. People love to ask me how I spend my day after taking paid time off from Better Than Wolves. I like to craft an airship. You would think the airship mod is gonna be another grind mod, but it's just not. It's super easy to make. I was getting wool for the rest of the day for something that's not an airship, but on day 36, I was ready to hit the skies. After getting this horrible potion effect from a MOA, it literally takes control of the keyboard from you. Guess what? I have an airship, and I literally have no idea how to fly it. Turns out we need fuel to keep this thing afloat. But yeah, I figured that out pretty quickly. Anyways, rest in peace to the airship. I thought right-clicking would let me shoot arrows. Yeah, we're not getting that thing back. Honestly, who even cares about the airship though? We have this old wool color, and I'm filling the entire island in with this color of wool. And that's a stack of wool. Right there. We need more wool. I don't even know what happened here, but then I spent the rest of the day wool hunting. And I wool hunted on day 37. You're probably gonna ask why I'm filling the ground in with blue wool. Same reason I built the house out of pumpkins. But yeah, after a day of experiencing some weird mobs, we only had 39 wool, which means we needed to bring out the methods on day 38. The overworld is absolutely polluted with random mobs from the mods, so I can't find any sheep. There are no random mobs in the Twilight Forest. No random mobs equals more sheep, and that's literally the method. This is also the best place to get lapis, which is what we need to dye the wool. It's also the perfect place to get shot by skeletons off the lapis. This is the haul we left with after day 39. Enough to finish the island, but we're not finishing the island, cause it's mod day. Today is the Balkans, Muskets, and Dynamite mod, but first I lied, we're filling in the island. I lied again, we don't even have enough to finish the island. But is it considered lying if you're bending the truth? Is it considered lying if you're just lying? This is a musket at work. It's not very good. So now we just need to get a piece of TNT to make dynamite. I fought the most stupid mob ever on this night. This thing has more health than the Ender Dragon, and it only drops a golden apple. I also killed this thing. And at the end of the night, I found enough gunpowder for a TNT. What the f*** is an industrial TNT? On day 41, I had to get more gunpowder for an industrial TNT. Bro! I don't even know what I was doing there, but in this version, there is no way to get this TNT back. So yeah, welcome to the NYC subway tunnels. We need 15 gunpowder to leave. Oh, for fuck's sake, yo, what the... So now we've got our industrial TNT. I don't even want to know what kind of damage it does. And we did all that for this lame-ass explosion. So on day 42, it was time to go back to the wool project. I fought the mafia boss.
Not there. Ooh, right in the chop.
Put in some work on the floor. And finally by day 43, we had the perfect Minecraft island. Yeah, this looks stupid. But you still haven't seen the final form. Give it time. Don't even ask what I was doing on day 44. I don't even know what I was doing. I'm not gonna lie, when you play 100 days of Minecraft with no breaks, you wind up not remembering 90% of the things you did. But these next 5 days, I will remember forever. Cause we're finally back to Better Than Wolves. Swear I heard the Dracula theme song in my head. It's also mod day, but the mod is supposed to be the Zeppelins mod, and I couldn't find anything about it. Turns out I could have just searched Google, but when you're 13 hours deep into Minecraft, you become immersed into the game. There's no Google in Minecraft. Okay, so Better Than Wolves. Where do we leave off? Trying to make steel. But guess what? What if I told you this thing isn't for lighting the fire? You light the hibachi fire with redstone. So that's one of the top 5 dumbest moments. Anyways, on day 46, we got a water wheel. That was one of the objectives. And now it's time to steal. If you're wondering what the bellow thing is for, I pretty much just hand crank it to stoke the fire. We can turn coal into coal dust, then it's coal dust, 3 iron, and a hellfire ingot to make steel. That was it. That was where we quit. But thankfully now we only have one more Better Than Wolves objective left. Anvil. That's not the objective. Making steel tools and armor actually is. And you're probably wondering why I just skipped a whole 2 days. This is what the last 2 days look like. But we are finally done with Better Than Wolves, which is why the Better Than Wolves professor showed up. Nah, I actually have no idea what mod this is from, but he was causing problems, so I got rid of him. Not gonna lie, I fully thought that was gonna be Herobrine. The funny thing about Better Than Wolves is in modern day, it is now considered the hardest Minecraft mod of all time. They somehow managed to make this mod 50 times worse in the future. Anyways, we are now 80% of the way to making my 10-year-old self proud. We really need those armors though. He's not very happy. At the end of day 49, I got scammed by Pokemon again. I only have one more pack left, so we're saving it for a better occasion. Oh yeah, I also tested this steel battle axe at the end of the day. No idea if it's good or not. Day 50, day 50, day 50. If I say it 3 times, it appears. This update day adds elemental arrows. There's a lightning arrow, egg arrow, ice arrow, fire arrow, and explosive arrow. We're gonna get them all. We can already make fire and lightning, but we need to get some stuff for the other ones. A snowball, waiting 7 years for chickens to lay an egg, and creeper powder from a gun. Shout out to the snow tigers camping above me. Anyways, I now have all the arrows, but I never tried shooting the arrows. What was the point of all that? For the next few days, I got a job as an exterior designer. I'm taking this place to a whole other level. We're gonna be decorating the island with random aether blocks. So on day 51, I got started with the decoration. We're adding different sand, trees made of clouds, blue stuff all over the place that bounces you for no reason and is super annoying. But that's where we're at on day 53. We got some kind of base. Don't know what's going on in the bottom right. On day 54, I got productive. I was actually watching 22 Jump Street. But it's part of the nostalgia experience, because that movie came out when I was like 11. So it's actually part of the mod pack. The same mod pack where you can tame a wiener wolf. Me when I also killed on this day. Don't ask me what this is. Yeah, that's a day in the life. Day 55 is mod day, and I pretty much added every mod from the pack that I haven't added yet. So basically a bunch of evil mods got added, like Industrial Craft 2. These mods probably make Better Than Wolves look like Weenie Hut Juniors, so we're not gonna play them. Instead, I'm just gonna explore the map looking for new features, like a rubber tree made of rubber wood. What is rubber wood for? I don't care. Guess what ore this is? I don't even know. What is this? Black water? These industrial mods had a world gen option, and honestly I was expecting something cool, but it just adds essential items to play the mods, which is why on day 56 I was excited to hear this.
Attention. There is a battle castle near your position.
I had just been drafted to the Hunger Games. Nah, it's actually a more creeps and weirdos structure. A castle, filled with weird mobs, strange loot, and a king at the top of the castle. Definitely the weirdest place I've been. On day 57, I put all this weird loot away in a chest, except for the cookies, because you can use them to tame a camel. Slightly different than how it works in 1.21. Oh yeah, my wiener dog also passed away today. Rest in peace. I don't feel bad, I was gonna eat him anyway. Now that we've been through the entire mod list, it's finally time to do what I said I was gonna do on day 5. Aether armor sets. The armor types are Gravitite, Neptune, Phoenix, and Obsidian. I currently only have the Obsidian helmet, so we gotta lock in. I still only have the Obsidian helmet, and it took a whole day, and a whole set of armor to do that boss fight. Good thing the Twilight Forest exists. Another day, another Valkyrie dungeon. Neptune boots. My favorite feature happened on this day, and on day 59, I did a cube boss. Complete waste of time, but don't worry, there was another one. This is why I saved this to the end. At least the gummies are good. They heal you to full health, so I don't know why I just wasted one on 2 hearts. This is where the no sleep part of this really began to set in. Before this, I was too distracted by all the new shiny mods, including the guy holding me captive in his basement known as John Better Than Wolves. But now there's nothing new, and there's nothing shiny. Got a 3-piece meal off today's boss fight though. Day 61, I accidentally went through the nether portal, so I had to go back because of that glitch, and I started the day off with another cube. Cool fact about these bosses is that they have a different name each time. Not that I could ever pronounce any of their names. Something else I really love about these fights is the magma boss cutscene you have to sit through every time. It's almost as fun as the actual boss fight. Man, this is insane. Okay, but how about no armor pieces? And on day 63, it was the exact same story. Nothing. Phoenix boots. That's actually good. After every boss fight, there was another shift in the morning. Every time I walked into this magma dungeon, I told myself this is the last one. But like any professional gambler, that was not true. Well, this is a Valkyrie dungeon, but you get the point. There's always another spin on the horizon. On day 66, I was in the Twilight Forest trying to get more armor. Day 67, I was getting that armor. And on day 68, I'm still getting armor? I don't know how it took me that long. And the rest of the day, I fought big rats in the nether. It's been 12 days since we started looking for the remaining armor pieces, and honestly, something needs to change. I'm so bored. Now we're really back. If you don't know what this is my old world from when I was a kid. It has a McDonald's, a WickDonald's, an attempted copy at Ant Venom's old survival series base. Can't even afford a nether portal. Anyways, I was hoping this world would have the answer to what I should do. Should I keep grinding armor or do something super cool that you're gonna tell me to do? The world cannot speak, so I got no answer. On day 71, I decided to start a fishing YouTube channel. At least I was excited to sleep. Maybe I just need a friend in my world. Where is he? Okay, maybe it didn't work out with me and Herobrine. Like, we're just at different stages in our life, and I respect that. He ate it all, and won't even let me. Are you serious? Guess what, guys? We got armor stands. It's cool because armor stands aren't in beta. It's a mod. For the first time in 70 days, I didn't have a plan for this world, and I thought that would be good. I thought that would be fun, but I was falling asleep. Even my sugar with coffee in it couldn't keep me awake. So on day 74, I fought a giant baby, and I wooled up the house a little bit. It's a super useful addition to the crib. And then I fell asleep, hoping that something could change my fate.
Well, what am I supposed to be doing?
That's a good question. I had the idea to show the world to my friend Dawn on day 75. I thought that maybe he could help me figure out something to do.
Bro, why do you have like an infestation?
Dude, I don't know. It's not normal.
Yo!
What I didn't realize is that the first few days of this would just be me explaining everything you just watched. You know what this is?
The nether core reactor?
No, but like, bro, what mod is that from? I forgot that. No, it's not a mod. It's like a real thing that was in the game. Yeah. But by day 76, I finally had a suggestion for what to do.
Go like exploring. Go like exploring for like a biome.
While it wasn't the best suggestion, it still was a lot better than fishing and trying to spawn Herobrine. So I guess it's time to exploring.
What the hell is that? The sea monster?
Yeah, I actually don't know what this is. It's a G. I don't know what that guy is. What the? What the hell?
Build something and pretend you found it.
Wait. Imagine if I just did that, how good this video would be. What if I actually built a castle? Despite our problems with finding anything interesting, it was still fun to have somebody witnessing what was happening on my screen. Yo.
Yo!
I did not know what that does.
Goodbye, sweet, sweet, sweet king.
Bro, this goo donut might actually be OP. Wait. Okay, so it's not a food. What do you think these things do?
Can you like make a pickaxe out of it?
Wait, this one right clicks.
Do it on stone, do it on stone.
What? It's so useless because the Twilight Forest just has infinite of every ore. Yo. After finding out how these gems worked, we were given one final exploring quest.
Danger. A pyramid has been discovered around
there's
your
a pyramid.
location.
Bro, I could have just built this and said I found one.
Can you dig it? Is it hollow?
I'm trying to see if there's an entrance first. Bro,
Dude, it might just be solid.
bedrock.
See if the mobs are like encaged,
Wait.
like in bed.
Oh, hoo, hoo.
Oh.
Not gonna lie, the pyramids were actually kind of scary. Yo, I don't know what mob this is. Like, I've never heard this sound. Oh, it's just these.
Oh my god.
Dude, I'm actually stuck in here. Like, how am I gonna get out? Dude, what do I even gain from this?
Some sand.
Hey, who? Who? Okay, yo, this thing might be able to kill me. Like, this him? That's him?
Congratulations. You got a new
That's the boss.
weirdo.
And there's just nothing in here. 10 cakes in a stack. Oh! Now this the boss. Oh, what is he doing? Why am I levitating? I can't even hit them. What is the point of this? What is the point of this? It's just making me jump, but like they can't hit me. This is probably one of the most illegal places to sleep. Anyways, on day 79, we were done our exploration, so I showed Dawn the Aether. We don't want to see that. I did get a piece I needed off these boss fights though. After that, on day 80, Dawn left us with a suggestion.
Yo, can you... Oh my god, can you build an oil rig to honorary our Fortnite drop spot?
It's such a stupid thing. Why would we? Yep, we're getting materials to build the rig in Minecraft. This is what we have to go off of. But it's absolutely not going to look like that at all when it's done. On day 81, we needed some sand, but this time it's for an actual good reason. It's not walls. Let me show you what it's for. There's gonna be like an outline around the whole thing. You can see in this part, there's a big old outline. Like I'm seriously actually trying on the build. That's just what the feeling of having an objective to complete gets you. No longer do I have to turn to Herobrine for fun. I'm officially Herobrine free. This is what we have so far on day 82. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even remember why I needed clay. Back at home on day 83 getting stone, this is what the clay was for. We also did something with slabs too. This is the updated build check. Don't know why I'm still staring at it. Yo, we've seen enough. Every day I walk out of my house and get launched by the blue stuff I added all around it. I don't know why I didn't just remove it. I wanted to make use of some of the Aether blocks in this build, so I'm flooring the thing with Aether wood, and this looks the same as yesterday. On day 85, I worked towards making the rig look the exact same as it did yesterday again. Then on day 86, I had a little stairway that led to a storage room. I finished up the top of the platform on this day, got more wood because I didn't want to leave the hole in the floor, and at the end of day 86, I was officially done building the rig platform. You saw me place these wood blocks though, because we're not done. The rig actually has buildings on it. The type of buildings that require you to get wool to build them. If you've ever built an old Minecraft, you know you can never escape collecting wool. Wool can escape collecting you though, because I ended the day with only 21 wool. And I used the wool to build the first layer of the building. But I need 250 wool to even have a chance at finishing this build. And considering I still need to get the armor pieces from the Aether, we are going to be cutting some corners here. Which is why after a long day of Twilight Forest wool hunting, this is the finished oil rig building. It's well, it's a little bit incomplete. But honestly, after 24 hours of being awake, I could not care how incomplete it was. I spent the rest of the day getting a better look at my build, but honestly, all I could think of was the fact that I had to go back to the Aether again. It felt like my last day before getting deployed to the military or some shit. Did not want to go back to the Aether. On day 90, it was finally time to get the remaining 5 pieces of armor. After exploring a pyramid, building an oil rig, it's time to go back to the 9 to 5. But first, the last Pokemon pack will decide our fate. I forgot to record the pack, but this is what we got. It's decent, so that means we get good armor luck. This is the good luck I'm talking about. But if you think about it, getting to sit through another magma boss on day 91 is better than looking at paint dry. I also have no idea what happened on this day. I drank a bunch of sodas in game and I got an achievement. I also found the absolute god chest, meaning we had just 3 armor pieces left. On day 92, I paid the Valkyries a visit. Got a bum chest this time though. Took care of Harl Kornaragant bum chest part 2. With only 3 pieces left, it seemed like there was no way I couldn't complete the armor sets. Just more stuff we already have. But I usually can only find 1 dungeon per day, so it's gonna take a lot more luck than you would think. Why did it go up? That's why on day 94, finding another pair of Phoenix boots wasn't very good. Combined with the fact that I needed to go home to replenish my armor, we are seriously running out of time. On day 95, I found out about these life shards that give you a permanent heart, and I continued looking for dungeons when the worst thing that could possibly happen happened. To be fair, I don't know how I was going to hit that MLG on 25 hours no sleep. But now I had the problem of looking for my stuff, cause I didn't open F3 when I was falling. But I did find it thanks to the water. Now it's day 96, and I need an actual miracle to get this armor. This is not the miracle. On day 97, I had pretty much given up all hope I had of finishing the armor, which is actually nostalgic to my Minecraft alpha video where I was trying to find the golden apple. I know I said nostalgic about something that was only 2 years ago, but I don't know, it really does feel like the same ending. And that made me realize that I did everything I could in this video to make it feel as nostalgic as possible. Staying up all night playing Minecraft, the pizza, orange soda, even the Pokemon packs. I only bought them for this video. I haven't opened packs in years, but somehow the first feeling of nostalgia for me was thinking back to a video I made 2 years ago, and it was unarguably the least fun part of the whole video. So what is the point that I'm trying to make here? I literally don't know. All I know is that it feels like I achieved my goal. If 10-year-old me could see this video, he probably wouldn't understand how anything about it is significant at all. But when 40-year-old me sees this video, he'll probably be like, yo, I remember this. That shit was sick, dude. This video was never about making my younger self proud. It's about making myself proud in the future. So it's time to say goodbye to the magma boss. I hate him, and I think he hates me too. On day 99, I did the bare minimum. I got out of bed, brushed my teeth, did not take a shower because I'm on a streak, and did a quick overview of our world. This is like the perfect place to put up on Airbnb right now. Would you stay here? And after watching the sunset, it felt like we were done. But there was still one final task for day 100. You see it?
Damn.
No, you want to see the best part of it though?
Yeah, dude.
You see this?
Yo. TNTina, bro.
So, are Minecraft's oldest mods still fun? I couldn't play most games for 26 hours straight, so I'm gonna have to go with yes. While they may be a little bit old and a little bit weird, that doesn't take away from the fact that I definitely enjoyed playing them, as long as you ignore the later half of the video, and better than wolves. Okay, maybe it wasn't that good actually. I'm sick of all these new Minecraft updates. Like, what even is a loom? When did they add this? They added it almost 7 years ago. What am I doing? So, for the next 100 days, I'm going to be playing Minecraft Alpha, one of Minecraft's oldest versions. Also, my game updates every 5 days. That's probably pretty important. On day 1, I did the regular Minecraft stuff. I cut down a tree, got some stone tools, and then I punch-sheared some sheep and made a full set of wool armor. Just a normal first day in Minecraft. You might have noticed there are a lot of things you can't do in this version, like sprinting, crouching, dragging items, F5. Well, you can F5, but it kind of looks like this. But there are obviously some things that you can do, like building an epic house, collecting every block, and finding the rarest item. That's the stuff I'm gonna do. But right now, we're just going to find a place to build a house so I don't get murdered by mobs. I found the perfect place to build my house, and I built a giant pillar into the sky to mark the area, but then there was a problem. I don't know how to get down from here. I decided to do a ladder MLG, and I obviously landed it, no question there. I replenished my health bar and cut down a few trees in the area, and then I started digging out an area to build the most epic house in Minecraft. Okay, the roof's still kinda missing. It's work in progress. For the rest of the day, I searched for coal, and I just couldn't find it. So my only source of light for the night was just this furnace. Yo, who let him cook? On day 2, I found out you can make smooth stone slabs from cobblestone, and then I added a roof to my house. Hardcore YouTubers be like. I'm just kidding, this is the house. It looks a lot better? Don't worry, this is only like 1% of what it will be at the end of the video. I managed to get some coal, so I lit up my house with some torches, and then I built a floor out of stone slabs. I also made a chest to store my blocks because I'm collecting every block. This is what we have so far. Not very much. After that, it was getting dark, so I figured it was time to go caving. I basically got a 5-star wanted level the second I stepped foot in a cave. There's also no audio in this version, so things like this creeper trying to exterminate my bloodline are very common. So within less than 10 minutes, I was walking back up to the surface on 4.5 hearts with no food. It looks like caving in this version might actually be hard, but that's okay because I like things that are hard.
What do you mean by that?
On day 3, I was supposed to look for food, but instead I started mining some sand because I need it for every block. I'm sorry about that edit, guys. I have a sand addiction. After the sand, it was pig murder time, and then I cooked some pig and some glass. Oh yeah, I also never mentioned that cooking pigs gives you steak in this version. Kinda weird. I spam hoed some grass to get some seeds, and then I planted a little farm on the side of my house. Not the other half, though. I don't deserve that yet. After that, I added some windows to my house and put a little pathway in front, and then the house was actually looking kinda drippy. Confidence is what you need to go caving in this version, and also a large amount of meat. So since I have one of those, I think it's time to go caving again. Okay, I managed to mine a lot of iron as you could see, but what I'm mainly looking for is some diamonds. I need 10 to collect every block, and I also want to get max drip at some point in this video, but right now we only have 0. I do have full iron though. For the rest of the day, I just kept caving. Yeah, that basically summarized my caving experience. On day 5, I decided the cave life was not for me, and it was time to strip mine. I found a weird glitch that almost killed me, but other than that, I found nothing. I heard 90% of miners quit before hitting it big, and I joined the 90%, making my way back up to surface. For the rest of the day, I did some stuff like mining more coal, lighting up the entire area around my base, and making a hole to collect some passive mobs to breed. Does my hole look good? Yes or no? Then I just continued making the front of my house better, and I watched the sunrise cinematically. Day 6 is Secret Friday. That's what they used to call the updates. Also, it's not a secret, it came out 13 years ago. In this update, they added snow and ice to the world generation, and I need snow for every block, so I went on a journey to look for it. The information I lacked at this time, though, was that you need a world that was in winter mode to find these 2 blocks. So basically, I was just completely wasting my time. I'm pretty sure there aren't any biomes in the game yet, so everything just kinda looks the same. But even if everything looks the same, there's still something about it that looks so good. It's probably the fact that everything has thumbnail level saturation on it. On day 7, I made my way back to my base. I tried to lure some sheep into the hole I made, but then I realized that you can't do that in alpha. You also can't breed mobs. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I spent most of the day upgrading the front of my base even more, and then it was back to the caves, again. Why are there so many animals in the cave? I found nothing really while caving, just the coal and iron like usual, and then I got jump scared by a creeper. Since diamonds don't seem to be an option right now, I decided to just work on my house on day 8. And for this next build, we are going to need a lot of wood. So I started a mass deforestation. I was cutting down every tree within a 1,000-mile radius. But don't worry, for every tree I broke, I was planting them back. Alright, now that we have all this wood, I honestly don't remember what I was going to do with it. Oh yeah, I was making a mine shaft. That's what I was doing with the wood. Mining mine. That's a pretty sick name. Next, I replaced some stone with cobblestone and gravel to make the mine look a bit nicer. And by the end of day 9, I was finished the shaft, and then it was Secret Friday. It's still not a secret. I'm reading a list of everything added right now. This list includes boats, cactuses, clay, reeds, bricks, slimes, bookshelves, and your mom. Haha, get it? I'm sorry. But that isn't all the updates, and the last update is a very controversial one. The Goofy F5 has been removed, and it has been replaced with Fortnite F5 instead. I'm pretty much finished upgrading my base for now, so I think I'm going to hunt for some of the new blocks because I'm still missing a lot of them. So I guess it's time for us to hit the water. I don't think that's what that means. Okay, we found some cows. That's not really a block, but it is new. Something about these cows just does not look right. For the rest of the day, I kept searching for the new blocks. First, I found some reeds, and then I found some clay right after, and finally I found a stray cactus in the open. Not really sure if cactuses belong here. At the end of the day, I made my way back to my base and crafted every block that I had resources for. Okay, we're only actually missing 19 blocks. The only problem is some of them aren't even in the game yet. On day 11, I made a gold block and an iron block. Kinda forgot the texture used to look like this. And I also crafted some bricks. I used to love bricks when I was younger. Okay, that sounded kinda sus. I planted a cactus and made a sugarcane farm, and then I crafted a block of TNT. Alright, now there's only 15 blocks left, and most of them are in the caves, so it's time to go back. You might have thought the mobs were bad the first few times I went caving, but the last update on day 10 added something that I was not ready for. They're literally hitting me through the walls. Apparently Alpha v1.0.11 is the Slimepocalypse update, so instead of dealing with that, I decided to strip mine the rest of the day. I found nothing. On day 12, I got tired of strip mining, so I decided to take on the slimes. I almost died immediately. Everything was okay though, because I actually found a method to exterminate the slimes. I continued exploring the caves, and I was actually feeling pretty confident, despite having one armor bar and an infinite amount of slimes attacking me. Eventually, this confidence got the best of me though, because I died to slimes. Okay, technically I didn't die to slimes, I accidentally lavaed myself, and I don't really know which one of those is more embarrassing. All I do know is I only have 5 minutes to get my items back. Oh no, guys, this is really intense. I wonder if he will get his stuff back. These stakes are insane. I got my stuff back. I'm honestly not sure how it didn't burn though. For the rest of the day, I continued exploring and I still found nothing. So I went back up to surface so I could at least craft some of the blocks I'm missing. I crafted some rails and an iron door, which puts me 2 blocks closer to collecting every block. I also forgot to save an iron ore to put in the chest, so we're still missing one of the easiest blocks. On day 14, I wanted to stop my crops from being trampled, so I remade my farm. There are no fences in the game yet, so this will have to do. I also crafted a bookshelf, which was another block that I'm missing, and then I captured a sheep. I think it's about that time in the video where the YouTuber gives the mob a name. That's his name. That's what I'm naming him. After naming my new pet sheep, it was time to go caving for the 400th time. I'm going to save you the details on this one. Getting annoyed by slimes? Check. Strip mining time? Check. Diamonds? Check. Wait, that's out of the ordinary. It was only 3 diamonds, so I decided to make a pickaxe, and because of this pickaxe, I was able to mine some obsidian. Another block for the list of blocks. Bro, can this guy just shut up already? I also found diamonds again, and then I went back up to surface because it was time for Secret Friday. It's still not Friday. This update added chickens and music discs, but none of those are important. What is important is the jukebox, because we need it for the blocks. Yeah. I made an irresponsible decision and wasted one of my 2 diamonds on the jukebox, but I mean, it's progression, right? I'm sure I won't regret this in the future. This update is also supposed to fix the slime problem. I hope that is true. I decided to go find a chicken for some reason. I don't know why. It's not like I've never seen one before. And after finding a chicken, I came back to my base to find my sheep was dead, so I made a grave for it. Okay, it probably just despawned. There's nothing that would kill it in this game except me. It wasn't me, I swear. On day 16, I found that slimes are definitely not fixed. I hit the strip mines again, and in my notes it says not sure if I found diamonds, too lazy to check. I'm not checking. I'm just kidding. I actually did check, and I found 3 veins of diamonds in the same strip mine. I don't know how I went from 0 diamonds to this. On day 17, I crafted the coveted diamond block, and this was huge because every block that required diamonds was now found. Now we only need to get full diamond armor. On the next day, I found some diamonds, and then I found more, and after a little bit of mining, I found another big cave, this time with no slimes. I must have won the Minecraft lottery or something, because I found 2 more diamond veins back to back. And on day 19, I headed back up to surface feeling like I had just robbed somebody's tomb. I figured that I had done enough caving for now, so I went around harvesting my farms and smelted some iron. I also decided to make middle pieces, and now I was halfway to full diamond, so that's pretty sick. For some reason, this armor also had me feeling crazy, so I went out at night to fight some mobs. It feels like I'm playing Fortnite right now. Oh no, I think someone died here. I spent the rest of the day watching the sunrise, and then it was day 20. Okay, things are getting serious now because this is actually the update where Herobrine was first spotted. Hopefully we don't run into him. Fences and spider jockeys were also added in this update, but most importantly, they finally fixed F5. No more goofy running and no more Fortnite. I made some fences to replace the bootleg fences I had on my farm, and for some reason they just don't connect to blocks. After that, I noticed my cactus farm was getting kinda crazy, so I figured it was time to transform the space a little bit more. I have a plan to build something huge on top of this mountain, but for now, let's start making this area around it look a little bit nicer. Wait, that chicken is crazy with it. From days 21 to 24, I was just building. I made a big pathway going to the bottom of the hill, and then I built a new cactus farm. I also made a bunch of these walls out of wood and cobblestone, and then I tried to place some stairs. Yeah, apparently you can't do that in this version. I added a few more details to the walls, and then I added a layer of oak planks on the outside of the farm. As it was getting dark, I finished the perimeter, and I was able to take a look at my progress while waiting for the sun to rise. The lighting makes it look awful, but I'm actually happy with how it turned out so far. The house on the top has to go though, and it will in the future. On day 25, I was tired of building, but luckily it was Secret Friday and the compass was added. Yay! At the beginning of this video, I told you I was going to find the rarest item, and I never told you what it is. I mean, you could probably tell what it is, but if you can't for some reason, it's a golden apple. Now that we have a compass, I can go search for some spawners, which is the only place you can get it. We also need mossy cobblestone from a spawner for the blocks, so I'm going to go look for one of those. I found nothing on day 25, and on day 26, I was still searching for a spawner. The only difference is, this time I actually found it. Why is there no mob in the middle? It's just a spawner. I looted the chest and found nothing. I decided to mine all the mossy cobblestone in case I need it for a future build, and then I continued my search. I found a cave, so I explored that, and I also found some diamonds, and on day 27, I found more diamonds. I also found more diamonds again, and after finding those diamonds, I was able to make full diamond, so now we've officially completed one of our goals. Well, it wasn't an official goal, but it still makes me feel good, so it counts. On day 28, I found a new cave. There was nothing in it. So I found another new cave. There was nothing in it as well. So I went and found another cave. There's still nothing in any of these caves. I'm starting to understand why the golden apple is the rarest item. On cave number 4, I was able to find some more diamonds. I found like 4 veins in a matter of seconds, and it honestly looked like I did some mining off camera. I decided to make all the diamond tools, including the hoe, because I was ballin' like that. It's nether portals with the corner blocks from here on. On day 29, I actually found another spawner, but all it had was nothing again, so I decided to go back to my base. Day 30 is Secret Friday, and you might have noticed that sound was added. This update also brought us crouching and the ability to change your sensitivity, so this is a pretty W update. Oh yeah, and there are also fishing rods. They are completely useless and you can stack them, that's it. I have these objectives I need to complete, and one of these goals is to build an epic house. No offense to the house we have right now, but it's just not epic. I know I said I was going to put something better on the top of the mountain, but right now we are not doing that. Instead, we are going to build it right here, so let's start terraforming. Okay, this area is looking pretty good, so now it's time to build the house. For some reason, when I was younger, I was obsessed with these modern houses, so I'm going to be building one of those. I started to lay out a foundation for the house, starting with the pillars, and I ran out of stone pretty quickly, so I went and killed some pigs. I don't think those two are related. And then I started adding some stone slabs on the outside. So if you can't tell by now, this build is going to take a lot of stone. On day 32, would you have guessed that I started the day by mining stone? I finished the bottom layer, so I started building the pillars up even higher. After that, I filled the entire floor with wood planks except for the front section because that's going to be a garage. Why do I need a garage in my Minecraft house? I don't know. Why do you not subscribed yet? I also have to place 1 million torches on this build or we will get some unwanted visitors. The pigs are fine. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about these guys. Day 33 was slightly different because instead of mining stone, I cut down a bunch of trees. I also filled in the rest of the first floor and moved on to filling in the second floor. And at the end of the day, I smelted even more stone and then I started on the roof. The roof is interesting because it's going to take me 10 times more slabs than the rest of the house. On day 34, I finished about 2 layers of the roof before it was stone mining time again. But first, let's take a look at the house. This is how the house looks right now. I think it's missing something. Today I had a method. I cut some trees before the sun went down, and then I spent the rest of the day mining cobblestone while it was dark outside. I was also killing both birds with 1 stone by strip mining to try to find diamonds. It was almost a bad idea though because, well, you can see on the video. I apologize to any blind viewers, I just landed a sick MLG and trick shot, the lava sounds were Photoshop. Day 35 is a crazy day. It's Secret Saturday. Yeah, for some reason they dropped the update on a Saturday this time. Not for me though, it's not Saturday. This update added the nether, pumpkins, the clock, fishing. Oh yeah, and the game looks completely different. This was the first update with biomes, which means different color foliage, like the grass and stuff. It also means we can finally get snow. I made a clock for some reason, and then I went down to get obsidian to visit the nether. I didn't really want to go to the nether in this version because it's kind of useless, but if you already forgot, I'm collecting every block, and there are 3 new blocks in the nether. Also, I lied on day 28. We're not building a portal with the corners. I collected some soul sand and some netherrack, and then I collected glowstone, which is super annoying because it only drops 1 dust in this version, and you need 9 of them to craft the block instead of 4. I got everything I needed from the nether, so I went back and added the 3 blocks to the chest. Now we just need to get a pumpkin and a snow block. I ended up finding snow pretty quickly, which was cool, but you might have noticed that my house has no walls, and that is because the walls are supposed to be made out of snow. So this little amount of snow up here, it's not going to cut it. We need a snow biome. I continued searching for snow and I found a pumpkin on my way there. I also found an area that had every single biome like basically connected, including a snow biome. So I started mining snow, and I mined snow. Yeah, I mined snow for the rest of this day, slowly filling my inventory with snow blocks. Even when it got dark, I was out there grinding. I was also getting harassed by spiders. After another almost full day of shoveling, I felt like it was time to go back. So on day 38, I made my way back home and added the new blocks to the chest. Oh yeah, I also had to craft a jack-o'-lantern. Apparently those existed in alpha. After adding the blocks to the chest, I had officially collected every obtainable block, and now I just need to put them somewhere to display my greatness. But first, we still have to finish the house we were working on. I finished the walls, and then I got attacked by some zombies. They're just jealous of these dirt stairs. For the rest of the day, I worked on finishing the roof, and I also added some doors to the house. Hopefully that will keep the zombies out. On the next day, it was update day, but unfortunately, this update added nothing important. As you can see, the house is looking pretty good so far, but it still needs some windows. This is me mining the sand that is going to be used to make those windows. This time I don't have a sand addiction. I started placing some of the windows and then more of these guys showed up. I swear the second one just spawned out of thin air. These guys are out to ruin my house. On day 41 I mined sand again and I finished the first floor windows. The next day I finally finished the roof and I used the extra stone I had to put an outline around the house for some extra detail. I also got more glass, so I added some glass on the edge of this balcony and I finished the windows on the second floor. I also added some stairs up to the second floor and I added some stone railings on the side. The stone looks really bad. I'm actually going to remove it. On day 43, I took another look at the house. It's honestly looking pretty good at this point. At this point, I could say I was finished with the exterior and it was time to move on to the interior. I built a wall to create a little room at the back of the house and then I started moving some of my stuff to a storage area. I also started to replace the garage floor with gravel as a kind of a road. I don't know, there aren't many blocks in this version. The next day I cut down some wood, mined some gravel, expanded the road out a bit, and terraformed the lake in front so at least the road doesn't go into the water. Eventually the road just ends though and that makes no sense, but I don't care. Day 45 is update day and this update added only one thing: portals. Well, they were already in the game, but now you can kinda just place them. I got distracted and spammed portals everywhere, which probably isn't a good idea because I can't really break them, it takes forever. After that I built a little fishing dock on the lake and then I took a look at my progress. It's looking pretty sick. I added some stuff like this couch made out of a very comfortable material, this table, and this epic water feature. On day 46, I went back to the nether to get glowstone and the ghast wouldn't leave me alone. I also don't know why I got glowstone. I don't remember using it in this build at all. I added some paintings around the house like this one, which costed me $1 billion at an auction. That's why I have 2 of them right beside each other. I also found some evidence of me placing the glowstone, so I guess I did use it. Next I put some flowers outside of the house, and since there are no beds in this version, I decided to make my own bed out of my favorite sleeping material, gold blocks. A full gold bed is a crazy flex. I also wanted to add a motivational quote to the wall. Something like, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take," or "Opportunities don't happen, you create them." Let's get this bread. On day 48, I was pretty much finished the house, but I'm still missing a garage door, and unfortunately Home Depot doesn't exist in this version, so I have to get the stuff to build that. I wanted to make the garage door out of iron blocks, so I decided to spend the next few days caving, mainly to get a bunch of iron, but also to try to find a golden apple, because we still need that. So on day 49 I did some caving, and on day 50 I did some caving as well. This was also update day, and all it really added was coordinates, and on day 51 I was still caving, and from days 52 to 54 I caved. Now did I find a golden apple in that time? Well, let's see. During that time I found 4 spawners, and none of them had a golden apple. but I did find enough iron to finish my garage door. After that, I stared at my completed house until the sun rose and it became day 55. It's Secret Friday, but this update added nothing. And that's kind of what there is to do today. Nothing. I obviously still need to find a golden apple, but I'm not spending the rest of the 100 days doing that. That would be boring. Instead, I think it's finally time to do something about the old boring house on top of this mountain. Okay, so basically I want to build a castle slash museum for all the blocks I collected earlier in the video, but in order to make this castle, and yes, it will literally be this castle, this is my inspiration, I need to make this hill a lot bigger. So I spent the rest of the day forming the Terra, and on day 56, that's also what I did. On day 57, I continued filling in the mountain, but I ran out of dirt, so I mined dirt for the rest of the day. And on the next day, I finished filling in the top of the mountain, but obviously the sides need to be filled too, so I started filling the sides as well. This is so fun. Man, I love filling things. I managed to fill the left side, which was the smallest, and now you can see it actually looks pretty cool. Well, it looks like a normal mountain, but that was the goal. I also finished the back side, so on day 59, it was time to start working on the big side. This side is huge, so it's probably going to take a while. I pretty much immediately fell off the side and blew a creeper, and then I went and mined more dirt because I ran out. Running out of dirt in Minecraft twice is crazy. I got griefed by skeletons while filling in the wall, and on day 60, I was finally finished filling the wall. It may not seem like it took that long because of editing, but it literally took me 5 days to make that mountain. 5 Minecraft days, just to be clear. Also, today was update day, but it still adds nothing. There were no good updates after the nether one. On day 61, I'm putting a picture of the castle on the screen again to remind you. The materials to make this castle basically don't exist, so we're going to improvise on the materials I use. If improvise means come up with a stupid idea of using clay and bricks, then I guess I improvised. Let me tell you why this was a stupid idea while footage from 4 whole Minecraft days plays in the background. Basically, clay is very rare. That's it. That's why it was dumb. After returning to my base on day 64, I only had 14 stacks of clay. Yeah, that definitely won't be enough to make this castle. Day 65 was the last update of Minecraft Alpha, and you guessed it. It added flying pigs. No, it actually added nothing again. Now that I had the materials for the castle, or at least I thought I did, I decided it was finally time to remove the original house. Also, I had to get rid of the grave for the sheep, whatever his name was. Is this messed up? After removing the house, it was time to start making the gate at the front of the castle. I'm pretty sure I finished building up these pillars out of clay, and on the next day I put some cobblestone on the roof of them. Okay, that looks really bad. I tried to fix the pillar, but it somehow looked even worse, so I just put it back to how it was. After that, I started making the wall. The next day I did the same thing, until I realized that smelting clay takes forever, so I started building those castle wall type things on the top. Next I decided to make a side building out of snow. I have no idea why I did this, I don't have much snow left. I also started building this tower, except instead of being white, I'm making it out of wood, because wood is easy to get. I ran out of wood. At least wood is easy to get because on day 69 I just mined wood all day. I also didn't make a day 69 joke because I'm not immature and childish. Day 70 I was mining stone, and that's basically what I did for the next 2 days, mixed with some more wood mining. It's also kind of funny because I thought this would be my last time mining materials. Day 72 I built up some oak log pillars on the side of the tower, and then I built the tower up. This continued into day 63 where I also started placing some slabs on the side for detail. But while I was doing that, tragedy struck. I tried to build a little room on the top of the tower, but then I realized I hit the height limit. Yeah, apparently the height limit in Minecraft Alpha is only 128 blocks. So for the rest of the day I mined everything down, and then I did everything I just did and built a room in the middle with another ugly cobblestone roof on the top. On day 74, the tower was finished. I decided to work on another side building, and at this point it's been almost 20 days and I haven't even started the main castle yet. I don't understand how I keep missing every MLG. I took a quick break to cook some food, and by the end of the day I was finished building the side building. So on day 75, it was finally time to start building the main building. I built some stairs for the entrance, and then I started building up the front wall. This is what I had near the end of the day. It's kinda dark. On day 76, I put a roof on the castle, and then I started working on a little building on the side. This is the last building, I swear. This building was basically the same as the other ones, and after finishing it, I decided to add a tower coming from the middle of the building. I'm using stone this time. I'm never mining another piece of clay again. I spent the rest of the day building the tower, and things were starting to look good. So the next day I placed some walls on the other sides, and then I made the roof of the castle a little bit longer. I don't really remember why. On day 78 I ran out of wood. Honestly, I'm surprised it even lasted this long. And while chopping trees, I got to take a look at the castle from afar. Yeah, that will probably look good when it's finished. This was also the day that I decided to turn the Minecraft music on. I don't think I've ever once listened to to the music in Minecraft, I would usually just get my ears blasted after opening my game and then I would disable it. But something about this Minecraft music just hits different when you are playing the oldest version. On day 79, I built a stone tower on the other side of the main building. By now you've probably seen too many walls. I've done a lot of placing walls. So just know that I was pretty much finished the exterior at the end of the day, so I did a quick castle check again. Pretty much the same as before. On day 80, I finished building the right side tower, and I actually completely finished the exterior. It looks kinda dumb because of the clouds, but this shot is too good not to put in the video. The next day I started filling the floors with wood, and I started with the second floor, which was easy because I left space for a little balcony thing to look over the first floor. There are going to be 4 floors in total, and I finished both the second and third floor pretty quickly, so I moved on to the first floor, which was kinda funny because there is a giant cave underneath the floor that got created when I terraformed the mountain. On day 82, I was still filling in the first floor because it was a full floor, and then unfortunately I ran out of wood again. I remember saying on like day 70 that this would be my last time getting materials, which just wasn't true at all. But somehow I'm not really bothered by this. Everything is just so slow in Minecraft Alpha, but for some reason I've enjoyed playing this version so much more than any modern version of Minecraft. I mean, I've been working on a single build for almost 30 Minecraft days, which is like 10 hours in real time, and I'm not even finished. Yet it's the most fun I've had playing survival in probably like ever. On day 83, I was back to filling in the floor. I finished filling in the final floor, which was extra annoying because there were clouds flying through my face every 2 seconds. The next day I finished flooring the other rooms that weren't in the main building of the castle, and then I added some windows on one of the side buildings to give it some extra detail. The problem with these windows is that they don't have windows in them though. So to keep the medieval theme, I want to use fences as windows. I was totally wrong about using fences as windows. For some reason they don't connect to the blocks. So instead I just added some railings on the inside of the building, and then I decided to just use glass to make the windows. The only problem was I only had 10 glass and 38 sand, so it was sand mining time. On day 85 I added some interior to the front towers while waiting for my glass to smelt, and then I placed windows all around the castle. So many windows you can call me Bill Gates. No one should actually do that. After that I finished the interior from the beginning of the day, and I also might have accidentally killed a pig. Technically I didn't touch him, this one isn't on me. I needed snow for one of the first buildings I made, so on day 86 I went looking for some snow. There's something about this version that just reminds me of the first time I played Minecraft. In one of my earliest memories of playing Minecraft, I had like this creative world which I built a giant castle in. Well, it probably wasn't giant, I was like 9 or 10 years old, but I would work on this build every day, and one day I remember I somehow died in my creative world. Don't even ask how that is possible. And I completely lost my builds because I didn't know what the chords were. So I just cried for hours and hours over losing my Minecraft world. I was loving the craft so much that I cried over Minecraft. On day 87 I filled in the snow on the wall, and then I used the extra snow to fill in the parts on top of the castle that I never filled in. After that I worked on finishing the brick wall, which is funny because it was the first thing I built on the castle and it's the last thing that got finished. I also added a gravel path going towards the entrance, and then I threw in some fences for extra detail. I made a fountain in the middle of the courtyard, I think is what they call it, and it took me forever to make this water flow properly because I'm stupid. I added some glowstone on top of these fences, but I ran out, so instead I put torches like this on the other ones to light up the area. On day 89 I put a farm and some flowers in front of the castle, and then for the final part of the build, I started building a mixed cobblestone and mossy cobblestone wall on the side. I've officially finished the castle. It took me 35 days to build this. I want to say it doesn't even look that bad considering the limitations of building in Minecraft Alpha. It definitely looks better than the modern house, no offense. I just said no offense to myself. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this thing turned out. It's definitely better than anything I could have built when I was 10 years old. We should also probably get rid of this pillar in the top right, but it's been there since day 1, so at this point I'm just going to leave it. Now obviously I built this castle with a purpose, and that was to put all the blocks I collected earlier on display. So I placed a bunch of lame blocks on the first floor, and then I put some slightly better ones on the second floor, and then some decent blocks got put on the third floor, and finally I placed the most wicked blocks on the top floor. Obsidian, mossy cobblestone, iron block, gold block, and diamond block. And that's it. That's every block in Minecraft Alpha in a museum. Now you might have thought we've done it all because I built a castle, but you might remember that I still have one objective left. I still need to find the golden apple. Now this castle took forever to build, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't think we have enough time to find a golden apple, but we have to try. I ended up traveling thousands of blocks and went through a bunch of spawners trying, but honestly I kind of hoped I didn't find the golden apple. Because for one, this would just seem scripted if I find it on day 99, but also finding a golden apple doesn't actually mean anything to me. I mean, after all, this is Minecraft Alpha. There is no objective in the game, no ender dragon, no achievements. Other than a slight outline of what you're supposed to do, you really can do anything. And maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. So on day 99 I didn't find a spawner, but I did return to my base. And on day 100 I did the corniest thing you can do at the end of a 100 days video. I watched the sunrise one final time, completely naked. Well, Steve has clothes on by default, but you get what I mean. And at the end of the day I decided to visit my old Minecraft world from when I was 10. Okay, I don't think this is the same one, but it's the replacement world for the one that I lost. And as you can see, there was a castle. It was much better than the one I built today, obviously. I mean, look at this genius architecture. I spent the rest of the day looking around at all the amazing things I built, and I even found a sign hidden in all this mess. Burger King. This is supposed to be Burger King. Yeah, that says a lot. 3 things are guaranteed in life. Life, death, and a 2-week Minecraft phase. I hate the term 2-week Minecraft phase, but I am technically in that phase because I recently got the urge to continue this world from my last 100 days, which means it's time to upgrade my base using a limited block palette, spend a ton of time collecting every new block and item even though there aren't that many in the game, and even complete a brand new objective. I wonder what that is, because this is 100 more days, this time in Minecraft Beta. Wait, why is it day 103? That's you just thought that. Basically, I made this video like 6 months ago, and that was technically day 100 to 103, and during that time I made a cake, a dispenser, a note block, sandstone, found spruce and birch logs, and got every color of wool, because that was all the new blocks added in the first update. Okay, yeah, I'm forgetting one, which is the lapis block. I did manage to find some lapis, but I couldn't find enough to make an entire block. I only had 5 left over after making all the wool. Mainly because lapis is super rare in this version, and also only drops 1 lapis. So that's where we are at the end of day 103. Lapisless. Staring at the moon on a Friday night, no lapis. Even he is having a better time than me. I want to dig out an area to put a basement inside of this castle, but first I have to take care of the creeper problem I have in my house. Unfortunately, the exterminator wasn't added yet, so I had to take care of the problem myself. But soon enough, I was able to start digging out an area for the basement. I want to put a museum in this basement. Kinda like last time, except it's a museum of different things. What goes in the museum? Well, you just have to wait and see. Near the end of day 104, I dug out the area I needed to dig and filled most of the floor in with wood planks. I say most because on day 105 I ran out of wood. So I exited my house like the Kool-Aid Man and went to cut down some trees. It's only 5 days in and I'm already mining wood again. But don't worry, I planted all the trees back. At night I went back into the house and placed a lot more wood and broke even more blocks and killed more creepers. Unfortunately, I started this video off with the most boring thing ever, but it had to be done. So enjoy some cool effects to keep you watching. I will also add some Minecraft parkour gameplay, Subway Surfers, satisfying videos, mobile games. Look guys, the basement is done, and we still don't know what it's for. Of course, we still had to replace some old blocks that I placed, add an actual floor, and on day 107, I fixed some problems that I caused by making the basement, and I added some stairs, more stairs, fences on the outside. Fences on top of fences would be wrong though. I mean, why would they ever add that to the game? And by the end of the day, it was actually kind of complete. So now I can finally explain to you why I built a basement. But first, let's take a walk to beat up some sheep. My earliest memory of playing Minecraft was at my friend's house on an iPod Touch. Back then, you would spawn with 9 blocks in your hotbar, and you could build stuff. That was it. I didn't know it then, but playing Minecraft on the iPod was a slippery slope. After that, I became addicted to Minecraft. So I'm building an iPod in slot 1 of the museum. And this is a Minecraft history museum, but like, for me. So every 10 days, I will add something to the museum to represent my time playing Minecraft. And this is the first one. Nope, that's not right at all. The glass looks terrible. And this is the first one. Along with adding to the museum, every 10 days I'm gonna update the game as well. So this is beta 1.2. We're gonna update to 1.3, 1.4, all the way to the last update in beta. Also, beta 1.1 barely added anything, that's why I'm starting on beta 1.2. On day 109, I traveled far away from home. I'm pretty sure I was looking for lapis, if you remember the problem from earlier. I thought I found a cave with a spawner in it, but it was just some skeletons. I also ran into some squids, in the wrong place. And yeah, by the end of day 109, I still had no lapis. Day 110 is update day, and things look a little bit different. Beta 1.3 added smooth lighting. Along with that, we got redstone repeaters, cobblestone, wood, and sandstone slabs, this painting, sulfur renamed to gunpowder, lapis actually dropping more than one, and something really funny. We also got evil. Evil was added, and you'll see why in a bit. I started the day off by climbing a gapped ladder because this is the last time you can do that. After this, ladders become normal forever. And I was pretty excited that beds got added in this update, but I was even more excited that we can finally get our lapis. You know, I remember finding lapis when I was a kid, and I thought it was diamonds. Now I see why. This was the funny thing that got added, by the way. You can use F3 to give mobs name tags, and there's a certain reason that this can be very useful. Unfortunately, I didn't get cocoa beans or a golden apple out of these chests. Those are the two things that I still need to find, that spawn in dungeons. I mined some redstone that takes forever to mine, and I only did it so that I can show you the black redstone. And after that, I finally ended the search for lapis. It would have been so much easier if it just dropped this many the first time. I ended the day off with my first time ever sleeping in this world, and on day 111, I started strip mining. Now, obviously, I would never cheat and look for mob name tags with F3. Nah, I was just looking to see how much FPS I was getting. I mined some gold, which actually ended up being useful later. Then I magically found more mobs while strip mining. I don't know how this wasn't a spawner. I spent the rest of the day strip mining even more, and then my game crashed. You would expect old versions of Minecraft to work perfectly. The problem is though that the game only saved my location and not the blocks I broke, so I was stuck in a wall with nothing I could do. So now I've died twice, once to slimes, and once to the new terrain generator. Two very awesome deaths. This time we have a problem though, because I don't know if my stuff will actually be there. So I took some random stuff that I had, and started walking to the place I died, right after a quick sleep break, so I don't have to deal with mobs. So on day 112, I started walking to where I died, and I never mentioned that I died like 3,000 blocks away from my spawn, so it's gonna take a while. Wow, that didn't take a long time at all. When I got to the death location, I actually got really lucky, because all my stuff was actually in a hole that I dug out while I was stuck in a wall. Luckily, this death wasn't as bad as it could have been. Don't ask me how I know that. They call that foreshadowing. For the rest of the day, I was now careful to avoid randomly crashing. I found a nice one vein of diamonds, then I got shot at by a couple of dudes in my cave, found more diamonds, ended world hunger except for lapis, and slept in a bed in the middle of a cave. On day 113, I mined some diamonds pretty early on, mined even more diamonds, burned a creeper alive. In-game YouTube, don't demonetize me. And then I went to the surface, to mine wood. This is really all that Minecraft Beta has to offer. But this wood is actually important, because I needed this for a project later on in the video. But right now on day 113, I did not know that, so I don't know why I was mining wood. I finished deforesting and started to make my way back home. But first I had to dig a hole in the wall, so I didn't have to walk alone at night. You never know what kind of creepers you'll find out there. On day 114, I found them, and I also actually went home this time. Can someone tell me why I just took fall damage in water? I'm still punching sheep for wool at this point, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing is cool about this terrain anymore. I've walked back and forth 100 times. We made it back to the home just as it turned nighttime. That goes to show just how long it takes me to find new chunks. I finally crafted the lapis block that we should have had 10 days ago. I also made a redstone repeater, and I already made the slabs, I guess. I don't know, they're already in the chest. We have the chest now, because I ran out of spots in the museum. On day 115, I found out why I mined all that wood. I was using it to make a pattern on the floor in my museum, but I didn't realize it looks exactly the same as oak wood, so I could have just used oak. I added some accents to the floor as well, and I basically became an interior designer. This looks a lot better than just plain wood, I think. I didn't have enough wool to finish the other side though, so it was back to bullying sheep. And when it was dark out, I visited the nether for some glowstone. Why does that not work? I managed to get my glowstone, which still only drops 1 glowstone per block, and I just realized that this looks like a snowball for some reason. If you remember last time, there was a huge gas problem, and that certainly has not changed. The problem is, I didn't have a flint and steel though, so I couldn't let them break my portal or I wouldn't be able to get back. So that is why I dug a hole in this mountain. This could have turned out really bad. On day 116, I was back to hunting sheep. I'm pretty sure looking for wool was one of the hardest activities in this video, because even though it doesn't look like it, sheep were very rare. You know what wasn't rare though? This stupid glitch. This had to have happened to me hundreds of times during this video, and I still have no idea what was causing it. After an entire 10 minutes of hunting for sheep, I had enough wool to finish the floor of the museum. You probably don't even notice the difference from before, but I think it was worth it, and that's all that matters. On day 117, I wanted to make a pathway connecting the castle to my old house over there, but first I needed to go and find some coal. Yeah, I was out of coal. For some reason, when I think back to old times playing Minecraft, I remember I used to play MCSG with my friends all night on my terrible 20 FPS PC in my living room. I don't think I ever won a game back then, but there was one time that I remember killing a guy with full iron, and I thought I was a god. I don't think I'll ever have an achievement as great as that again, which is why I built a small version of that one big island on Breeze Island, because I always remember going there thinking there would be good loot. It never worked. Day 118, it was time to grind. I have a plan to completely transform this whole area in the middle of my 2 houses, and that starts with building a pathway that connects them both. So I was digging out a bunch of holes in the ground, and then I filled them with a mix of cobblestone, gravel, and regular stone. And that's basically all that happened today. That's it. By nighttime I was mining gravel though because I ran out, and then on day 119, I was back to work. I did want to finish this thing before the update day though, so I had to go fast. So I added a timer on screen to make sure we're on pace. I finished filling in the whole thing with a lot of time to spare, but I still had to get some wood to put up some light posts on the side. By the time it turned night, we were placing down some light posts, and we actually finished that part pretty fast, but there's still a problem. We're not connected to the house yet. So basically I had to make an entire boardwalk that connected to the old fishing dock I made. Now you're probably wondering if this was pace for world record. Nah, unfortunately we only got the planks down, not the logs on the side. And also, this is technically day 120. It's light out, which means it's Secret Friday. They're not called that anymore. Cookies, wolves, and pink and brown sheep were added in this update. You can also now obtain cocoa beans in dungeon chests, and locked chests are added if your world date is set to April 1st. So obviously we're gonna go look for a locked chest, because it's definitely April 1st. See, the problem with finding a locked chest is that we have to go thousands of blocks out into new chunks. Again. And I also tamed a dog because they were added in the update. Hey bro, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. In normal Minecraft, taming your dog before you travel 2,000 blocks isn't a problem. But in Minecraft Beta, where your dog is very stupid, it's not as good of an idea. Yeah, there you go. How hard was that? This dog really annoyed me, and on day 121, it wasn't getting any better. Bringing the dog into a cave proved to be an even worse challenge. Why are you fighting it? Where are you going, bro? And after witnessing the most incredibly stupid thing ever, I realized it was time to bring the dog home. My plan to bring the dog home was through the Nether. How is that? What? Whoa. Now what is the difference between this portal and the other one? Anyways, I figured the plan to bring the dog through the Nether was pretty smart. Until on day 122, I realized that dogs can't go through the Nether. So now I was stuck bringing this dumb dog all the way back. Or I could go back through the Nether, back to my home portal, and have the dog teleport to me there. So for the rest of day 122, I walked back to my house. And even though it was only a couple hundred blocks away, with all the ghasts, it felt like it took forever. Throughout this whole time, I still never found an April Fool's chest. Also, my hole in the mountain did not work this time. When going back through the portal, I expected my dog to teleport to me, but no, it could never be that easy. On day 123, I broke the game by switching the date back from April 1st. Well, I didn't really break it, all I had to do was restart my game. And then I had to go back through the Nether to get to the dog. Again. Now you know why getting a dog was a stupid idea. Next time we'll just get a chinchilla or something. I got back through the portal and the dog was still there, unfortunately. So now we dig a nice staircase for the dog to follow us back up to surface. And we almost drowned the dog by digging it into a water pool. And finally, the dog is back on surface. So on day 124, we walk back to the house while mining wood. The wood is for the bridge I was building at the end of day 119, if you forgot about that, because of the dog stuff. I made a boat to travel across this large ocean, and everything was fine until I traveled 1,000 blocks in the ocean and the dog didn't teleport to me. So on day 125, I had to go back the other way to find the dog, until I finally loaded the chunk it was in, so it teleported back to me. Yeah, we're just sticking to land now. I'm not going in the water with the dog ever again. Finally, after what felt like years, I could see the castle, and the dog was finally in the house. The dog days are over. Yeah, you are gonna sit here forever. Since the dog was so stupid, I gave it a name. Real ones will understand. On day 126, I had enough of venturing out to the new chunks, so I stayed here to finish the dock that we started building 7 days ago. 7 whole days of dealing with the dog. What even is Minecraft Beta? I wanted to finish placing all these logs, but I ran out of wood, so it's a good time to cut down more trees. Any time is a good time to cut down trees except night. Nighttime tree cutting is evil. Near the end of the day, I went back to placing the logs, and I finished the day by placing some torches on top. We're sleeping on the gold bed tonight. We deserve it. On day 127, I took a look at the dock for about 1 second before I went back to the nether again. I wanted to make a tunnel that connected my home portal to the portal in the new chunks, so for the whole day all I did was dig, and dig, and dig, until I made it to the portal. And for the rest of the day I explored the cave that I was originally exploring with the dog, because I wanted to find a dungeon so I could find some cocoa beans, because I hadn't found cocoa beans yet. I don't know what was up with all the creepers in my cave. Seriously, this is way too many. And I also don't know what was up with all the diamonds. This was the only vein I found. And on day 128, I thought I for sure had found a spawner. But no, it was just a bunch of random mobs. And that was the closest thing to a spawner that I found the whole time. So we're headed back home empty-handed. No cocoa beans today. But it doesn't technically matter because the old museum was for blocks, not for items. As you can see, it's a lot more peaceful traveling through a tunnel in the nether. I would say I will miss seeing 50 ghasts in the sky, but I won't. Back at the house, I put some stuff back into these chests, and then I stared out the window, waiting for it to change to day. I already told you that I used to play Minecraft on a 30 FPS PC, but that was only temporary. You see, I was moving up in the world after buying a $400 laptop. A $400 laptop nowadays probably wouldn't even run the game, but back then I was getting good FPS and I could even record. After getting FPS, I became an SG sweat and I gained 400 subs on YouTube. I mean, that's aura, bro. 400 subs, I was pretty much famous. So I dedicated this room to my old laptop. This is supposed to be my laptop, and this is a custom YouTube play button for 400 subs. I won't tell you what this is though, but if you know, you know. For the rest of the day, I added some slabs to the side of my pathway, and I tried to bone meal the ground, but I think I'm ahead of my time. So I watched the sun rise again, but this time you can see my progress. Not very much is different yet. Day 130, it's time to phase through the floor. In this update, they added birch and spruce saplings. You can wear a pumpkin backwards. They added detector rails, which I still have no idea what they are used for, and powered rails, which will be very useful for us. Weather has been added. You can finally shift-click stuff, and that's it. There's definitely not something huge that I was forgetting in this update. The reason the powered rails are useful is because I'm gonna build a railroad connecting the 2 portals. So right now I'm counting how many rails I need to see how much iron to get. I don't remember how much that was, so the number is anywhere between 1 and 1 million. I built a pillar up here so I can easily find my portal when I leave the area, and then I left the area to find a cave to start mining iron, which is why on day 131, I was trying to collect birch and spruce saplings since they just got added, something that absolutely has to do with getting iron. Okay, so maybe I forgot that I cut down trees first and then got iron, but that's what happens when you go through almost 30 hours of gameplay. You forget everything. I, just like you, feel like I'm watching this footage for the first time, assuming you weren't looking through my window while I was playing. You weren't, right? Once again, I have no idea how much iron I was getting. I know it was at least 2 stacks, so we're not quite there yet. And at the end of the day, we were still not there yet. On day 132, I mined a lot of iron, then I almost died. Mined more iron. Pretty sure I mined way more than the recommended daily intake. But it's okay though, because we got enough iron to build the roller coaster. So what do you do after you mine a lot of iron? You go to sleep, and then you wake up inside of a wall with absolutely no way to get out. And the best part of it is, since you apparently can't put your bed there, you respawn back at your house. Luckily, I installed a tunnel that connects to a portal close to where I was, so it's not the exact same situation as before, but what if I told you that my stuff magically disappeared? Yeah, it was nowhere to be found. So all that iron I just mined, we have to do it again. But first, here I am digging all the way down, thinking my loot might have glitched at the bottom, but after realizing it didn't, I was stuck getting all my stuff back. You should have just killed me. Tired of using one singular torch, I went back up to the surface. It's not the best living situation out here. There's a lot of dead people with bows and arrows. At least I had one pork chop though, so we weren't fully at risk of dying again. I slowly got more stuff as the night went on, got jump scared by a creeper, and after all that, on day 134, I survived my first night in Minecraft. Don't try to understand that sentence. Since losing my stuff, I was determined to get it all back. So I started farming some birch trees to get the saplings, and at night I farmed some spruce trees for saplings. And you may have noticed that this is the first time there has been rain in this world, and I didn't like that. So I slept the night away in a bed with all the edges cut out. Day 135, I finished my tree collection. Who knew that getting these saplings would end up being so important? At this point, I'm getting bored of this whole situation, so it's a good thing that I went back to the Nether, because now we can go back home and get some actual tools and stuff. It's kinda crazy that we only have 13 diamonds left now because of this. We're also eating bread now. It's come down to this. Hey, at least I don't have to pay Minecraft taxes anymore. On day 136, I had to go get all the iron I mined before again, but this time I ended up in the original cave from the first 100 days. How are they still here? I honestly think that death happened for a reason, because it allowed me to find a spawner underneath my home base. No cocoa beans though. But now I can use this spawner to make an XP farm in the future. Or I can use this one, which I found right beside it. Once again, there's no cocoa beans. It only took me till the end of day 136 to get all the iron again. And then on day 137, I blew up a creeper. I don't know why I decided to include that. I made my way up to the surface, and then I entered the castle. I had to smelt all the iron before I could make the rails, but luckily you don't have to wait for that. Only I do. I made my way back into the Nether, and now it's time for the most interesting segment ever. It was actually kind of annoying trying to make a staircase out of the rails. Now that I think of it, I probably could have just put the home portal underground as well. But I didn't, so I was stuck with this. It took me about 5 minutes to actually finish the staircase, which isn't that bad. And the straight line was much easier to make. All I had to do was remember to place a powered rail every 7 rails. So on day 138, I was finished making the railroad. Now we just have to see if it works. Of course it didn't work. To be fair, it's been at least 10 years since I built one of these things, so you can't blame me for forgetting how they work. Well, actually you can. I don't know who else you would blame. Alright, now the track will work. It's time for take 2. Well, we're not getting that back. Okay, really? Why did it... Obviously the railroad worked this way because there is barely any uphill, but will it work the other way? We were so close. Okay, now it has to work. There's no way it doesn't work. I'm not even gonna... Well, at least we now know it works. Finally. On day 139, I just wanted to make a few upgrades to the home area, because we're still doing that. So I planted some of the saplings we got earlier, all around the path. Who knew the saplings that I collected 3 times would actually be useful? I realized I placed way too many of them though, so I had to remove a couple. Next I grabbed some stone I was smelting, and I used it to make some rocks around the side of the path as well. This has to be one of my favorite builds, even though it's just a rock. I feel like the rocks add so much to the area. Minecraft should have natural rocks. I continued placing rocks all around the path like this, and I even thought I was cooking by adding some rocks inside of the water. Yeah, that definitely looks pretty cool. Today's museum installation is dedicated to when all my friends quit Minecraft, except for me. This is supposed to be me, and the wool symbolizes the people who quit. Yeah, the quality of these is really going downhill. It was sad times when I was 12. Playing Minecraft was no longer cool.
But you know what is cool? Update day. We got the dead bush, tall grass, the fern, trapdoors, maps. You can bone meal grass now. The suffocating bed glitch is fixed. There's no more hit cooldown finally. And crashing into soul sand with a boat apparently kills you. So first I had to craft the new items. Alright, we got a map now. Don't know why I would need to use this. And I had to test out the soul sand boat glitch. Okay, nah, this is crazy. Where are you even coming from? So I put all of my items away in case something weird happened, like with the bed, but as it turns out, nothing happens at all. Something I also noticed about this update and the next one is that they don't show up in the top left of the screen. So this is beta 1.6 if anyone was wondering. I started off the day by bone mealing the area in the middle of my castle. I wanted to do this for a long time. How did it take this long to invent bone meal? And I also started bone mealing the area outside of the castle as well. There was a problem though. We don't have that much bone meal. So that's where the spawners from earlier come in. One of them was a skeleton spawner, so I can use it to farm bone meal. So we gotta find the spawner. It's also kind of funny that I'm doing this right after making a roller coaster. It's like two of the most classic things to do in old Minecraft. On day 141, I found the skeleton spawner, which means we can start turning this into a skeleton farm. Except I have no idea how. Bro's been playing Minecraft for over 10 years and can't make a mob farm. Fortunately, the old mob farm design looks pretty easy to make though. First, you gotta dig out a 9x9 area around the spawner. Then you gotta leave an indent in the floor for the water to flow to, and when that's all mined out, you make a little hole here, and now we just need water on each side. Next you make a little area to hit the mobs, and finally you fall into the farm to test it out. I obviously did that on purpose. After making the farm, I sat here farming some bone meal. Eventually I got smart and put a slab here though, so the skeletons can't hit me. And I literally just sat here farming skeletons for the rest of the day. That's it. On the next day I started building a ladder to the surface so I could get in and out of this place. And of course the spawner was underwater, so I nearly drowned. Then I built this pillar on top of it so I'll always know where it is. Next I wanted to use all the bone meal I farmed around the path like this. It's better to do this in the day and farm skeletons at night. You also might have noticed a lot of bald sheep in the last few clips. I want to make one of those red and white lighthouses on top of the mob spawner, but I need a lot of wool to do that, so I've been punching sheep whenever I get the chance. Towards the end of the day, I brought some ladders back to the spawner so I could finish the ladder. I also added some torches because it gets very dark. Then I spent the rest of the day hitting skeletons. On day 143, I started to build a shape for the lighthouse. I also found out you can't re-dye wool, so that makes this even harder. I'm only looking for white sheep from now on. I didn't like how this turned out, so I rebuilt it a little smaller, but this is literally all the wool we have right now, so we need a bit more. So my day was just dedicated to punching sheep, and each day I only have 10 minutes to do this because passive mobs only spawn at night. I also have to collect a lot of red flowers because half of the lighthouse has to be red wool. So with only 43 wool by the end of the day, I had a little bit of a problem. So on day 144 I kept punching sheep, and by the middle of the day I started expanding the lighthouse a little bit more, and I even got started on the red section. I ran out of wool pretty fast though, so yeah. On day 145, I woke up inside of a mountain. We now only have 5 more days to finish the lighthouse. I continued building the red layer of the house, and then I moved on to another white layer. But there was a problem. We're still not even halfway done. On day 146, I realized there was a problem. The lighthouse looks terrible. So I tried placing more red wool, because I thought it would make it better. Is it better? It's not better. That doesn't matter for right now though, because I need more wool. And you probably wouldn't believe it, but I spent the rest of the day getting 0 more wool. So on day 147, I realized something had to be done. Instead of using white wool, we should just use snow blocks instead. I didn't really want to use snow because of how hard it was for me to use it before, but now with the portal that takes me to new chunks, it's way easier than finding sheep. So I spent the rest of the day mining snow, and at the end of the day I went back home, finally with enough materials to complete this build. The thing about this lighthouse is that it currently looks really bad, so I had to spend the first part of the day dismantling it. And this was in the last version before they added shears, so it takes forever to mine wool. So you would think I wouldn't start building it again, only to change my mind again. No, I wouldn't do that. I spent the rest of the day building the actual lighthouse this time, and instead of all that weird curvature, I decided to make it a cylinder. And then I made the last area stick out a bit, kind of like a Mario pipe. And after running out of red wool, this is what we had. It's obviously still not finished. I spent the rest of the day collecting red flowers in the rain, and at the end of the day, I switched the Mario pipe design because it looked goofy, and because I also didn't have enough red wool to finish it. Next, I added slabs on the outside of it like this, then I made the light at the top of the lighthouse. Okay, I know the torches look stupid, I'll change it to glowstone later. We'll put a few more slabs on the top, and this is what took us 7 or 8 days to build, literally only because of the rarity of wool. On day 149, it was still raining, but at least I could get back to bone mealing finally. It's funny that I have to bone meal literally everything because there was no tall grass at the beginning of this world. Also, by this point, a lot of the trees had grown too, so that was pretty cool. Eventually the rain stopped, which is interesting because I thought it lasts a lot longer, and I ran out of bone meal again. But at least most of the area is bone mealed now. I did kind of forget to add an interior to the lighthouse, so I spent the rest of the day doing that. Part of the lighthouse got blown up by a creeper, which wasn't annoying at all. It was so unannoying that I had to go all the way back to my house to get more snow blocks to fix it. And then it was nighttime, so I was kind of worried about it happening again. But we were okay, so I finished this staircase to the top, and now the lighthouse is actually finished. Even though I don't want to include it, it would be messed up not to put UHC in the museum, because I spent a lot of time playing UHC when I was younger. If you don't know what UHC is, consider yourself lucky. But yeah, I built a big heart for UHC. Not because I love UHC, it's a hardcore heart for UHC. But yeah, now we're 50% of the way through my Minecraft life. Only 50 more days to go. Day 150 is a special update. Some people consider it to be the best version of Minecraft ever. It's beta 1.7.3. Time to see what this version is all about. It added pistons, sticky pistons, shears, silverfish. You can finally build on fences. Apparently this is the first version you need flint and steel to blow up TNT. I never knew that. And the last version of the game to feature the Farlands. So it's time to go there. It's only a few blocks away. This is also the only beta version that you can still download the Faithful texture pack for, so we're going to be using it for the next few days. Okay, I forgot you need Optifine. After only 10 minutes of Optifine installing, we now have the texture pack. It is based off the new textures though, so it's not the original Faithful. But whatever, this took way too long. I'm not looking for the old one. You might remember me saying I forgot something very important 20 days ago on update day. Yeah, I completely forgot achievements were added, in like beta 1.5. So today I decided to grind achievements. The first ones were simple. I just had to make a sword and a hoe. Then I decided to do the one where I have to cook a fish. It's a good thing I had one singular fish in this chest. I cooked the fish and that was another achievement done, and for the next achievement I killed a mob. Some very hard achievements were missing. I also found a pink sheep for the first time during this day, and yes, I resisted the urge to punch it. Or what if I didn't, and I just cut it out? One of the achievements was just to craft a piece of bread, kind of ironic when I have 3 pieces of bread in my inventory already. And on day 151, I tried to milk a cow to make a cake. I'm pretty sure you literally have to click the udder in this version. There's an achievement to ride a pig off a cliff, but I forgot you can't control the pig at all. And the only way off the pig is killing it and losing a saddle. There's a lot of weird stuff in this version. Even weirder, I stared at a chicken for like 5 minutes, waiting for it to lay an egg. I'm not exaggerating, by the way, this actually took 5 minutes. But that was the last ingredient for the cake achievement, which leaves 2 more achievements left. Compared to all the other achievements, the last 2 are actually hard. The first achievement is to ride a minecart 1,000 meters. I thought you could just ride the minecart back and forth and it would count as more distance, but apparently that is not the way this works. So I rode a minecart back and forth for the rest of the day for nothing. This led me to try the other achievement on day 152, which is riding a pig off a cliff. At first I was confused on how to do this, but I found out you can still punch the pig while you're riding it. So this achievement wasn't actually that hard, because I didn't have to rely on the pig to jump off. But the next achievement was an actual menace. For the next achievement to work, I actually have to ride a minecart 1,000 meters. I'm not allowed to double back on existing rails, they all have to be different. The obvious solution for this is just to build a 1,000 block long railroad, but knowing how long that would take, I was out here trying to find different methods. The problem was that none of these methods actually worked. So as it turns out, I'm going to have to expand this track 700 more blocks. 652 actually, according to the sign. So that means it's back to grinding iron again. Look at me. You can see that I was still in denial. Since it was my only option, I spent the rest of the day grinding iron. Once again, I have no memory of how much iron I actually needed, I just know it was over 2 stacks. Fortunately, due to locking in, at the end of the day I had enough iron. Or at least you would think that, because I was heading back to my base. No, I actually just gave up on the iron mission. I don't remember why. On day 153, I smelted a bunch of gold and iron, and I turned all of it into rails. I then began the long journey of digging a strip mine all the way to Z1000. It's crazy how if there was enchants, I could have done this pretty much instantly. But no, this took a massive amount of time, straight from the beginning to the end of the day. And after that, I had to start placing the rails all the way back to where we started. This didn't take nearly as long though, because I didn't actually have that many rails. So I ran out of rails like 250 blocks in, which meant I needed to get 400 more rails. It takes 6 iron to make 16 rails, which means we need about 150 iron to make all our rails. Obviously less than that because some of the rails are going to be powered rails, but this isn't a math channel, so 150 iron it is. So on day 154, I grinded iron a little bit, but this cave was already pretty explored, so I went to surface to find another one. And once I found another one, I just mined more iron. That's the whole day. It's just iron and creepers. On day 155, I started finding some blue iron as well. There was also a spawner with no cocoa beans in it, also no golden apple, but I've given up on that entirely. And at the end of the day, I had way more than 150 iron, so one of us calculated wrong, either me or me in the video. On day 156, I finally went back to surface. Now that we have shears, I can shear sheep instead of punching them. I found the way back to my portal pretty easy enough, and back at home, it was time to smelt a ton of iron. After smelting the iron, this is how many rails we ended up with. That's at least 10. And now begins the slow, boring process of laying them all on the ground. But not as a viewer, you just get to experience the finished railroad. So on day 157, I rode the railroad 1,000 blocks, and did not get the achievement. At this point, I thought it was broken, so the best thing I could do, obviously, was extend the railroad out even more. I also ran out of redstone, so I was using levers to activate the rails now. So after adding like 100 more blocks, I tested the railroad again. And yeah, this time it actually worked. I'm guessing it only counted the blocks on one axis and not the other, but now I was officially done with every achievement in beta 1.7.3, which is crazy because the actual current all advancements record is not much longer than it took me to do this. That's kind of concerning. Now that I had nothing to do, on day 158, I started cutting down a bunch of trees. You remember the bridge we built to my house like 30 days ago? Well, now I wanted to make one that connects the house to the lighthouse as well. So to do this, I needed to get a ton of wood. So that's what I did for the rest of the day. I got wood. This is the most common day in Minecraft beta. What's not common though is a squid in your water fountain. I actually need the ink sacks though, so I'll take it. On day 159, I started to build the plank part of the bridge. I decided to be a little different and make the bridge curve this time though. I did mess up and make this bridge only 3 blocks wide instead of 4 like the last one, but considering the fact that I didn't notice that until now, I think we're fine. I bet you didn't know that I deleted my YouTube channel once before. Not this one. Obviously not this one. But remember when I talked about my YouTube channel with 400 subs? When I was in like 8th grade, my YouTube channel got compromised. People in my school found my channel. I don't know about now, but back then, people finding your Minecraft channel was the end of the world. Even though looking back on it, no one actually cared. But back then, I thought it was over. So that was the end of my YouTube journey. I guess I'll never hit 1 million subs. That's why I made this black play button. Okay, that looks a little better. It's supposed to be a play button, but dead. Because I deleted the channel. All of these squares were for nothing. Day 160 was the Shadow Chest update. I was so used to using Faithful now that things look a little bit weird. But of course things are about to look really weird because you can sprint. You could only double tap W in this version, but still, it was amazing. There's also finally Hunger as you can see. You were able to block your sword, which is a mythical feature for anyone who started playing after 1.8. And you could also pull back your bow. If you know your Minecraft beta update lore, you might know that 1.8.1 is one of the last updates in beta. It is technically the last, but not in this video. No, I'm actually going to be on this version for the next 30 days, and to answer why, I will list off everything added in this update. Stone bricks, mossy stone bricks, cracked stone bricks, infested stone, brick and stone brick slabs and stairs, mushroom blocks, melons, vines, iron bars, glass panes, fence gates, chicken, beef, ender pearls, melon and pumpkin seeds, rotten flesh, cave spiders, endermen, XP, mine shafts, ravines, strongholds, villages, new biomes, and finally potion effects. And there's also everything I showed before that as well. So at the beginning of the day, I added some new blocks to the chest. And after doing that, I realized there was a big problem with food in this version. I don't know if I'm just used to not having to eat in the earlier versions, or if you actually run out of hunger way faster than modern Minecraft. But we are going to need a lot of food. Food that I can't seem to find around my base, so we're gonna have to go find some new chunks. At the end of the day, I slept in the water, and on day 161, I went looking for some new terrain. It took a little bit, but I found a new plains biome. For the first time since day 1, this finally looks like modern terrain. I made sure to farm a lot of food while I was out here, and I also sheared a bunch of sheep because of the events from before. I never want to have to find wool again. I also wanted to collect some of the blocks we don't have yet, so I grabbed a bunch of vines from this green swamp, and since there's been shears in the game for a while now, I can collect leaves. I also wanted to find a fern because they got added last update, but I spent the rest of the night looking for one and couldn't find it, so I guess they don't spawn yet. I found a cave on day 162, and something funny I found out about this update is that even though there is an XP bar, it doesn't show your level. It just resets you back to 0 every time you level up. You can also do large amounts of knockback to mobs while sprinting. I guess that was never tested when they added sprint. And you can get your diamonds blown up by a creeper. That was always a feature though. For some reason, it also seems to be a common feature. I mean, look at this guy ready to jump. He didn't do it this time, though. He's chill, I guess. This version of Minecraft was the first one where caving isn't super boring. Now we have a lot of ravines. Way too many, actually. And then there's the thing that I was actually looking for. A mineshaft. My least favorite part of mineshafts in this version is that you get stuck on these fences. Their hitbox is a full block. The creepers are also pretty annoying. This is literally just a thing they do. They hide behind walls. Something cool, though, is that there are no minecart chests yet, even though there are still rails on the ground. I guess that's some good mineshaft lore. I found a spawner that was connected to the mineshaft, and after 42 days, we finally got some cocoa beans. I never ended up making a cookie though, so after all that, the cocoa beans ended up being useless. I continued exploring the mineshaft for the rest of the day, found a chest with melon seeds, so now we can get melons, found another chest with melon seeds, and another chest with chest contents. On day 163, I was still exploring the mineshaft. I was really hoping on this day I would find pumpkin seeds, because I want to build a giant farm in the unused area between my house and the castle. And the last seed we need is pumpkins. But it seems every chest I open just has melon seeds. I got attacked by a cave spider on this day, and I found out that they are actually not yet poisonous. So cave spiders are just not scary at all in this update. After checking a few more chests, mining a few more diamonds, discovering the floating mineshaft, finding out there's a new achievement I have to do, and finding another spawner, we still had no pumpkin seeds at the end of the day. So on day 164, I was still looking for pumpkin seeds. I did come up with another goal though. Since I lost my armor when I suffocated from the bed, I wanted to get full diamond again, which means we need 7 more diamonds as well. It's a race between finding diamonds and pumpkin seeds. Who will win? I found a 5 vein of diamonds pretty quickly, and this puts us at 22 diamonds. So pumpkin seeds probably aren't gonna win. I also really want you to understand what kind of knockback we were working with. Like, this is actually insane. I re-entered the mineshaft towards the end of the day, and I checked a few more chests, but still nothing. No diamonds or pumpkin seeds for the rest of the day. Hopefully day 165 can actually put an end to the war. And that's it. Diamonds win. Diamonds did kind of have an unfair advantage though, because I think it's impossible to get pumpkin seeds in this update. I'm pretty sure they weren't included in chest loot by accident or something, because I have to have looted at least 30 chests and didn't find any. So after getting stuck in a cobweb and almost dying, I was back on the surface, with no armor at all, because I didn't craft my diamond armor. And I hate the rain in this version, so I built a big pillar in the sky so that I could sleep. Yeah, it turns out that this was a super dumb idea. I didn't die from this because I was able to react, but I completely forgot that mobs can just spawn on you while sleeping in this version. This is honestly surprising that this was the first time it happened to me. So yeah, we're sleeping with the nightlight on from now on. On day 166, I did another stupid thing, or Mojang did a stupid thing by making 1 block water do fall damage in old versions. Either way, someone did something stupid. I also still am not making armor for some reason. I don't know why I just forgot to make armor. I started cutting down a bunch of trees because I still have to finish that bridge from day 159, and then I sailed the ocean back towards my nether portal. You can really tell how many versions of the game I've been through. I made it back home just before it turned night, and now for some reason I was able to craft my armor. It's not like I could have just done this before. Nah, I almost had to die twice. On day 167, I started placing the wood. I got to here and I was out of wood, so we needed a lot more. So back to the nether we go. Since I got rid of all the trees around my home area, it's time to torture a different forest. I also don't understand why the fog randomly disappears in the nether in this update. Does anyone know why that happens? I spent the rest of the day mining wood, and I spent the night mining wood as well, which is risky because we all know what happens when you do that. Luckily, none of them got me. On day 168, I saved the environment by planting back some of the trees. Of course, we'll forget the fact that I definitely chopped down more than I placed, and I started working on the bridge again. I finished placing all the pillars, and now I just had to make them 1 block taller with a torch on each one. When I finished that, I realized I might as well circle this thing all the way around, so I built even more bridge. I did the same thing with the logs on the sides as I did with the last one, and when it turned night, I was finished with the entire thing. There is a mob problem right now, but a bit of light will fix it. There's also an Enderman problem. They like to steal your blocks. And yes, the Enderman was making zombie sounds. They did that at first. After lighting the whole area up, I took a look at the finished bridge. That's a lot more bridge than when we started. And it's about to be a lot more bridge, but this time the land version of a bridge, so a path. On day 169, I built a path similar to the one connecting my house and castle. I don't know why I said similar. It's actually exactly the same, just in a different place. And once the path was complete, I added some logs with torches for light. But then I ran out of torches, so no more light, I guess. I finished the path off by adding some slabs on the side, and there it is. That's a pretty nice path. When I was younger, there was a point in time where I never thought I'd play Minecraft again, and that was because I found a new game to play. Fortnite. Fortnite was massive in early 2018, and it was literally the only thing I played. Actually, it was the only thing I did other than go to school as well. I was obsessed with Fortnite. It seemed like I would never play Minecraft again now that I had found a different game. So that's why this part of the museum is dedicated to Fortnite. That's what the F stands for, right there. I wonder if I'll ever play Minecraft again.
On day 170, it was time to get serious. We have 30 days left, and this is what our home area looks like. We need a new building. Specifically a big farm right here, strategically placed in the middle of the giant bridge. You should know every good building starts with terraforming. That's why the lighthouse was bad. So I want to fill this whole sand area up with grass, and also level a lot of the hill down because parts of it are way too high. So that's what I'm doing. I'm digging up the hill, and in this clip I'm burning a pig alive for 0 food. What makes a pig drop no pork chops? Once I finished digging the area out, I started shaping the rest of the hill. There were a lot of caves on the side, so I had to make sure they were covered as well, or else it would look bad. I also had to blend the sides in so they didn't look completely unnatural, so that is what I continued doing on day 171. And after doing that, all I had to do was fill in the holes. Now we have a nice artificial hill to build on. On day 172, I started to place an outline for the farm. I wanted the farm to be inside of a giant barn, so the wood will actually be much taller than this. After outlining, I laid down some cobblestone for the first layer. Definitely didn't make it uneven by accident, and then I started building the second layer out of wood planks. I then had an idea of how tall this layer would be, so I began lining the area with logs. But I was pretty broke when it came to taiga logs, so this is how far we got. On day 173, I cut down a bunch of spruce trees. It's very different than my previous 5 times cutting down trees. Those were oak. I was also shearing sheep because I needed wool for this build, and I was killing pigs because I hate pigs. I also forgot to collect some tall grass last time I went for new blocks, and I also gathered some seeds for the farm. And on day 174, I also cut down a bunch of trees. Yeah, I needed a lot of wood for this farm, but by the end of the day, I had about 6 stacks of logs, so I figured that was enough. The reason I gathered wool was to make an X pattern on the walls of the barn, kinda like this, but this is just not that at all. So instead, I just did this design. It looks way better. I continued expanding the second layer of logs like this, and then I started switching all the walls to the new wool pattern. That's way better than the X. I also started swapping some spruce logs for oak logs to make it more textured, and then I made an outline of where the roof will be. On day 176, I started filling in the roof with oak planks, because there is no way I have enough logs to only use logs for the roof. Even planks is gonna be a struggle. Look how much I still have to place. I built an arch on the other side of the barn as well, and now that I didn't need any more logs, I could just go crazy with the planks on the roof, until I ran out. So I went back to the nether again. This was probably the most dangerous tree cutting session yet. Every single tree had at least one of these guys. But at least on day 177, it was less dangerous. Other than this guy, he was the only problem. And after gathering a ton of wood for the 900th time, I was back to the zombie-infested roof. By the end of the day, I'd finished about half of the roof, and on day 178, I finished the whole roof. The roof did kind of create a new problem though, but I ignored that and started designing the second layer of the walls. I decided to go with stone and cobblestone because they're different from wood. I only had like 30 pieces of stone though, so I started fighting the room of mobs instead. Also, this is something you'll never see again: an Enderman burning from sunlight. After getting rid of the mob spawner, I filled in the rest of the walls, and this is what it looks like so far. Ignore the fences down there. I was getting experimental. For the rest of the night, I mined stone because we need a lot more than 30 to finish the barn. And on day 179, I filled in the cobblestone layers. Obviously, we can't do the stone part yet because we have to cook it. I also put some cobblestone along the arch like this, and then I filled in the rest of it with wood. Not bad. For some reason, torches were not working in this area, and I was still getting mobs in the barn, so I added more light. And I also filled in the backside of the barn, because I hadn't done that yet. In mid to late 2020, I made a return to Minecraft. I was tired of playing Fortnite and needed something to play. Luckily, Tapel's UHC server was really popular at the time, and since I had a history of playing UHC in the past, this server got me back into Minecraft. So that's why I made a golden apple. It was the Tapel logo. We had to make a few sacrifices to get this gold though. The gold bed will be missed. If you hadn't noticed, I'm down to eating rotten flesh now, and that's the food problem I was talking about on day 160. It's kicked in. But we'll get food another time. Right now, we just have to wait for the sun to rise. On day 180, the sun rose, so it's off to the nether to get some food. For the first time in this world, I found a village, so I obviously stole all the crops so I could get some food. I don't think anyone cared though, because there are no villagers in the village. I also cut down even more spruce wood. Yeah, it turns out I need to use these to build the interior of the barn. I kinda forgot about that. And yeah, other than burning mobs, that's really it. Actually, I found another village as well, but this time there was residents. So I slept in the middle of the library. I am now the librarian. On day 181, I broke a bookshelf and found out that they don't drop books. This is a good day for people who hate books. I also got more food, found a creeper in the daytime, and cut down more trees. And I want you to remember how much food I have on this day. On day 181, I had 39 steak. And in this next clip where I'm mining cobblestone, I'm already down to 35. To be fair, Steve is getting some crazy protein in, but this is a lot of steak. No one should eat this much steak. On day 182, I smelted the stone so we can finish the top walls of the barn, and I also thought this entrance was a little empty, so I started to add a wall layer on the top. It's kind of like a portal to the barn dimension. I filled in the 2 missing walls on the side, and now the front of the barn is actually finished. Or so you think. I actually wanted to use some extra stone to put a little bit more detail on the walls like this. I also removed the dirt staircase because I don't think we want to keep that. And then a spider caused me to lose part of the barn. The spider actually managed to stop me from running away from the creeper. That's impressive. Okay, now the front is actually done. And most of the outside is done as well, so it was time to start working on the inside. I followed the same design with the logs as I did on the outside, and on day 183, I filled the walls in with stone because I forgot to yesterday. I then filled in this top area to build an upper layer, and I put some fences on the side so you can't fall off. Why is there mobs spawning in here again? This mob problem was actually making no sense. I swear I didn't need this much light in any other version before this. So now we have the lightest barn in existence. I added a staircase to the second layer at the back of the barn like this, and then I started digging out an area where we will put some water so I can grow my crops. I also wanted to make the water flow back out into the lake, but on day 184, I think I underestimated how far the lake was. So I had to make a huge tunnel that leads all the way to the lake, and now we have a supernatural looking water flow. I also made a sewer kind of design on the back, even though it's not a sewer, I just think it seems right. And then I did the same thing on the other side, but this time the area we have for water flow is even worse. After doing this, it was time to hoe all the dirt, and then plant some wheat seeds like this. Okay, how is that not light enough for seeds? Because of this problem, I added some bridges across the water for light, and then I put some slabs as a pathway to the other side as well. Next, I hoed the dirt on the other side so I could put some melons here, but no pumpkins unfortunately, because pumpkin seeds don't exist. And now the farm area is kinda complete. We do need a bit more wood to finish it though. So on day 185, I mined wood. It is insane how many times this has happened. I also got more stone as well, cause you might as well do both. And at the end of the day, I started to make the floor of the farm look better. I added some fences to make it harder for things to walk in and walk on the crops. And I added a wood path on the side cause it looks nicer than grass. And I added some posts on the side cause why not? Finally, I got rid of this dirt on day 186 and put some wood under the stairs instead. I also started digging out some holes in the middle area so I could make a pathway, and I used gravel, stone, and cobblestone for the path just like the other ones outside. And now the inside of the farm is actually complete. I built a bit more of a path to connect it to the main path to the castle, and now the barn is officially complete. So for the rest of the day, I just made the area around it look nicer. I planted some trees on the side, bone mealed the area up a little bit, added a creeper hole to the mountain in front, and then I placed some different kind of trees on the top as well. It's definitely not as good as the castle, but it's still a nice addition to the area. Something I didn't realize about this update is that I was missing a new achievement, Sniper Duel. The one where you kill a skeleton from 50 meters, I needed to do that. The problem with Sniper Duel is... how is that not 50 meters? Or that. You need to be really far away from the skeleton to do the achievement, but the arrows aren't exactly accurate in this version. The skeletons will also just randomly disappear. Yeah, at some range they just vanish. I don't know how many blocks it is, but it isn't far. So on day 187, I had to come up with a plan to get this achievement. But first I had to kill some skeletons for bone meal. The plan was simple. Shoot a million more arrows at the invisible skeleton and hope it hits. Nah, that wasn't actually the plan. I just didn't think I had to resort to it on this day. But at the end of the night, all I had done was killed an enderman with a bow, which isn't even possible in new Minecraft, so it's a pretty weird sight. So on day 188, after using all my bone meal, I started digging an area 50 blocks up above my skeleton farm. I thought that surely if I went 50 blocks up, that would count for the achievement. The problem that I ran into though, is that skeletons disappear when I'm 50 blocks out, and at a certain range they just completely despawn. So the whole day I was shooting into the void, not knowing they were despawning. So for the rest of the night I just tried the old method, and this is how my arrows were landing with my crosshair staying in the same place. For some reason, as I said earlier, the bows are super inaccurate, so this was the most annoying night so far. With the despawning and the arrow inaccuracy, this achievement felt basically impossible. I remember in the early stages of me doing YouTube, it felt like it was basically impossible to grow. I was posting videos and none of them would get recommended, and I just couldn't understand it. When all hope was lost and I was about to quit, the only thing that kept me going was my TikTok account. I had somehow managed to get 100,000 followers on there before, so I had that as proof I could succeed. A month later, I posted what is now known as my first video, so if I never made Minecraft videos on TikTok, I would have never become a YouTuber in the first place, which is why I built the TikTok logo as the 9th slot of the museum. But other than that, I hope the TikTok era is forgotten. Those videos were horrible. Day 189 was my last night attempting the skeleton achievement. I decided to go on top of the castle to make sure I was definitely 50 blocks away, but none of the skeletons I killed ended up being 50 meters, so I guess it's impossible. On day 190, it was time to forget the achievement though, because it was update day. This update added not being able to open doors, my house randomly getting turned into a swamp, and a massive list of things that is longer than the previous update was. To summarize it, we have a big nether update, the end and the ender dragon were added, and there's more achievements that we need to get. But first, I went back in time to show you some stupid features from updates before. In beta 1.9 pre-release 1, jumping gives you XP, and because of this you can't hold down jump anymore. In pre-release 4, you can place water on top of water, and in pre-release 5, pressing F9 stops you from moving your mouse, pressing F6 gives you weird movement, and you can change the rotation of your camera. I know updating to beta 1.9 in this video is controversial because the full release is Minecraft 1.0, but the update has beta in the name, so you can't really argue with that. Seriously, please don't. Today it's time to start working on getting these new achievements because there is a lot of them. Apparently we haven't got diamonds yet, so we're starting with that, which means we gotta go to the nether. And we gotta run to some new chunks.
You may remember 10 days ago when I told you to remember I had 39 steak? Well, I'm officially already out of steak. This is not normal food consumption. Steve has a problem. At the end of the day, I finally made it to New Chunks and found a cave, got more melon seeds, and on day 191, I mined diamonds for the first time ever. The reason I'm using an iron pick is because it's my first time mining diamonds, obviously. It was also my first time mining obsidian at super speed. Yeah, for some reason obsidian breaks really fast in pre-release 6. And with the obsidian I made an enchant table, which is another achievement, but those achievements were simple compared to the next achievement. I didn't exactly know how much sharpness it would take to do 8 hearts in one hit, but I knew that I was not getting it done in this cave. So on day 192, I headed back to my base. More specifically, I went back to use the mob farm since I'm gonna need it to grind XP. But first, we need a lot of sugarcane so we can get a level 30 enchant. Also, this is the first time in almost 200 days that I carried a bow and actually used it. I tried the skeleton achievement one more time, and this attempt perfectly explains why it's so stupid. If only I had a target block and a trapdoor. I dug out an area down at my mob spawner where I could put my enchanting area, and this version is really weird with the enchant levels, so I added more bookshelves than usual. See that? Level 31. That's not normal. After setting this up, I spent the rest of the day just farming XP. And on day 193, I don't think I moved from the spawner once at all. Like, I just sat here clicking skeletons and that's it. And by day 194, I only had 26 levels. So we still needed to farm 4 more levels. After getting 30 levels, I went back to get some diamonds to make a new sword, and then I got to level 31 just in case I got a level 31 enchant like we saw earlier. I unfortunately did end up finding a level 31 enchant, but I didn't realize and went past it, so I guess we're left with a classic level 30 enchant. Smite 4 isn't the worst thing we could have got, because at least it was enough for the achievement. So on day 195, we were done with the enchantment achievements, and it was time to move on to the nether achievements. The first one was actually just going to the nether, which we did on day 190, and the next achievement was getting a blaze rod, so we needed to find a fortress. Somehow it only took me 2 minutes to find a fortress. I guess they were more common in old Minecraft, and instantly I found some nether wart. This will be a lot more useful for the next achievement after killing the blaze. Speaking of killing a blaze, this is a tutorial for what not to do. You should actually not kill the blaze over lava, so you get the blaze rod. Even though the achievement is done, I'm gonna need a lot more of these to get to the end for the last achievement. So I spent a little bit more time killing blazes, and after that I needed to find a ghast for return to sender. But first I mined some glowstone because it finally drops normally in this update. And after that I did the ghast achievement. 2 times actually, if you count what I did on day 196. The next achievement is to brew a potion, so I made some speed potions. I also put the new nether blocks in the chest, and this plus the old museum is almost every block. I probably missed some, but whatever. After potion brewing, there was only 2 achievements left, getting to the stronghold and killing the dragon. So on day 196, it was time to start preparing for the end. I wanted to enchant my bow, but it isn't possible to enchant bows yet in this version, so instead I just enchanted my pickaxe. Fortune 1 for a level 15 is crazy. I wanted efficiency because there is a cool thing you can do with efficiency in this version, so I enchanted a different pickaxe to demonstrate. Basically, efficiency works on any block, it doesn't matter the tool. This is how I learned how to play Minecraft. You break a tree with a pickaxe. For the rest of the night, I killed endermen for ender eyes, which is revenge for them stealing blocks around my base, and on day 197, I went to look for the stronghold. While looking for the stronghold, I got to travel through all these old chunks one final time. Which is a really terrible thing because the Eye of Ender led me to an old chunk. Either one of 2 things are happening here. Either the stronghold somehow spawned in an old chunk, or my world is glitched because it's old. After making it down to Y11, it looked like it was the second option. I tried some X-ray tech to see if the stronghold was here, and maybe the eye was just off by a bit. I even looked through a nearby cave as well, but it seems there is no stronghold in this chunk. With this happening, and the stuff happening with the skeleton achievement before, I was not having fun. I went back to my base and killed a few more endermen to recover some broken eyes, and that's it. That was day 197.
Since the Ender Eye leads to nothing at spawn, my only chance of finding a stronghold was to run far enough away for the eye to change directions. So that is what I did, except the eye didn't change directions. Apparently 4,000 blocks wasn't enough. We had to go a lot further. I'm gonna be honest, for the rest of the day I was traveling through this ocean, and on day 199 I was still in a world record ocean. I saw light at the bottom and got excited, but it was just a lava pool, and around 4,000 blocks into the ocean, it began to rain. I finally hit land after 5 more minutes of boating, and this is what we get. Still the same eye. So we have to go further. That also wasn't the end of the ocean. Nope, there's more ocean to go. My boat broke from not even touching a lily pad as well. That's fun. And 9,000 blocks out, it still goes the wrong direction. By now it's pretty apparent that the game is just broken, or this was a feature, I'm not sure. But it seems like the eye only ever points to one stronghold in the entire world. So we're probably not gonna make it to the end, unfortunately. Honestly, as the updates progress, the game just keeps getting more annoying. And that's not me saying the newer versions of Minecraft are worse, they're objectively better. But for some reason I wanted the video to be perfect. No world breaking every time I update, no impossible achievements to complete. I wanted the video to end with me killing the Ender Dragon. The end of the game, the end of the video. This is not the end. Literally, we are not getting to the end. It's impossible. Yeah, the eye went that way again. And it broke. That's it. I'm done. That was it.